Good afternoon and welcome into the Fightin Phillies radio network. It's the pregame show as we get set for the final game of this week's 6-game series between the Fightin Phillies and the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, the AA affiliate of the New York Mets. My name is Jake Starr. We'll be joined by Bob McCool coming up in a couple of moments, and a very happy Easter to those who celebrate, and also a happy final day of Passover as well. We appreciate you spending part of your holiday with us on what's a beautiful Sunday afternoon for baseball here at America's Classic Ballpark. Fightin Phillies fell in last night's game 6-1 to Binghamton. They will look to salvage themselves a split of this series in this afternoon's game. Moises Chaussee on the mound for the Fightin Phillies. He'll go against Jonathan Pincharo for the Rumble Ponies and what is a rematch of Tuesday night's showdown between Chaussee and Pincharo. Reading was victorious in Tuesday night's game, so we'll see if they can repeat that success today. Well, it's Sunday, so that means it's time to take a look around the Phillies organization for our Phillies minor league report, and that's coming up after this here on the Reading Fightin Phillies pregame show on the Our Phillies radio network. Back on the pregame show here on the Fightin Phillies Radio Network as Easter music blares out here at FirstEnergy Stadium, getting everybody in the holiday spirit. Once again, a very seasonable spring day as we are just minutes away from game number 6 between Reading and Binghamton. Again, my name is Jake Starr. We'll welcome in my broadcast partner for the first time tonight, Bob McCool. Bob, we'll start with the pitching matchup. It's the same as Tuesday. Got Chase on the mound. The thought is they're trying to continue to stretch him out, start by start. 2 1/3 last time out. I think the thing for him, it's control today. If he can throw strikes, I think he can kind of start to stretch himself out a little bit more.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and obviously it helps keep the pitch count down, and the more the pitch count stays down, the longer he can stay in there. He pitched 3 innings in Tuesday's, actually 2 1/3 innings in Tuesday's game, and so they would like to see a little bit more from Moises Chase, see him get a little bit longer into the start, no doubt. But they have used Aberson Castellano kind of as a piggyback with him over the course of it, and Castellano has gotten stronger, and he was excellent on a Tuesday, going 3 full innings and giving up just 4 hits without a run. Chase just got himself in some trouble in the second inning with a walk, and then got hurt by the long ball to go along with it. So there's a lot of expectations for Moises Chase, and I think those expectations certainly increased in his time after his call up to Reading after the trade with the Orioles a season ago.
Yeah, Chase was also placed on the Phillies 40-man roster along with Gene Cabrera during the offseason to protect both of them from the Rule 5 draft. Just waiting for the Fightin Phillies now to take the field, and while we do, we flip gears and talk offensively about this Reading team. It was a really strong start to the week. Surprisingly, when the weather was cold, the bats were hot, but as the weather has heated up, the bats have kind of cooled down. Now, Bob, we're going to see today if they can kind of flip that script, finish the series on a strong note before you head north to Portland next week.
Yeah, to be 2-0 in the series and a chance to take control of the series and then ultimately lose 3 straight is a very frustrating point right now for the Fightin Phillies. But at least to come out of here with a split is pretty much the least you can expect, especially after winning the first 2 games of the series. So it does put a little bit extra pressure on you, but you want to come out of here on a home series, at least with the split of the 6 games.
The Fightin Phillies have taken the field, and that'll do it for today's pregame show. We'll step aside for the national anthem when we come back. We'll have lineups and first pitch of game number 6 between Reading and Binghamton right here on the Reading Fightin Phillies Radio Network. Good afternoon and welcome back inside FirstEnergy Stadium, America's Classic Ballpark for Game 6 of 6 of this week's series between the Reading Fightin Phillies and the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Once again, my name is Jake Starr, joined alongside by Bob McCool, and the Fightin' Phils playing as the Reading Hot Dogs on this Sunday Family Fun Day have taken the field. And let's take a look at the Rumble Ponies lineup that'll go against them. I almost said Mets lineup, but when you look at the top of it, it basically is. And here is that starting 9 for Reed Brignac. Jeff McNeil leads off at second base. Francisco Alvarez, the DH, bats second. Both of them on big league rehab from the Mets. Nick Morabito bats third and center. Ryan Clifford is fourth. He'll play left. Nick LaRusso bats fifth at third. JT Schwartz sixth at first baseman. Kevin Parada bats seventh. He's the catcher. William Lugo eighth at short. Alex Ramirez bats ninth in right. Once again, that's McNeil, Alvarez, Morabito, Clifford, LaRusso, Schwartz, Parada, Lugo, and Ramirez. And on the mound for the Fightin' Phils for the second time this week, Bob, it's Moises Chausse.
Chausse without a decision so far, making his third start of the season, 6.23 earned run average, 4 1/3 innings pitched in total through his first 2 starts, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 7 walks. And as we said, he did start Tuesday's opening game of this series, went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs, and both of them earned 4 strikeouts and 3 walks.
Let's set the defense behind Moises Chausse. Keaton Anthony at first, Trent Farquhar second. Aidan Miller at short, Luis Verdugo at third. Cade Ferguson right, Elio Prado in center. Hendry Mendez in left, Jordan Disson the catcher. Once again, right to left in the infield, Anthony Farquhar, Miller Verdugo, Fergus Prado, Mendez. 3 in the outfield, right to left. Jordan Disson, Moises Chausse, your pitcher, catcher, battery. So on this beautiful Easter Sunday, Jeff McNeil will dig in from the left side, and Moises Chausse, the righty, will rock and fire the first one home, and it's swung on, and it's hit in the air deep towards right. Fergus is back. He turns, and it will be a fair ball home run. Ambush shot on the first pitch of the game. Jeff McNeil just sneaks it inside that right field foul pole, and just like that, it's 1-0 Binghamton.
Well, McNeil obviously is working himself back and is getting himself ready for his reemergence with the New York Mets, out with an oblique strain, but he has been swinging a big bat last night and tonight. He just missed one earlier in the game last night and then rocked one off the top of the train sign on the top of the rack sign later on in the game, and first pitch swinging just like he did last night, sitting on the first pitch fastball and ripped it.
First pitch to Alvarez, swings and misses. It's 0-1. So our first pitch time, 118. First pitch temperature, 65 degrees. That's presented by All Temp Enterprises. 0-1 to Alvarez. It's fouled back. It's 0-2. So yeah, it was the first base umpire, Trevor Patience, who signaled that was a fair ball. Damian Fries at third. Jack Wasson, our crew chief, is behind home plate and has balls and strikes tonight. And the 0-2 to Francisco Alvarez is swung on a ground ball, 2 opera towards the middle. Trent Farquhar at second. Had that played perfectly, fires the first in time. And that is out number 1. And that'll bring Nick Morabito to the plate.
And so for the 5th time in this 6-game series, Binghamton scores in the first inning. They have jumped on the Phils, that is for sure, and nobody more so than Jeff McNeil, who led off yesterday, swung at the first pitch for a base hit. Tonight, swings at the first pitch from Chausse, and it's a towering home run.
First pitch home is down for a ball. It's 1-0.
And I think that's a lesson to be learned for Chausse. I mean, you're looking at a big leaguer who says, all right, let me see what you got. First pitch, you're going to deliver me a first pitch fastball. I'm going to make you pay for it.
Pitch home to Morabito's up and in. 2 balls, no strikes. And a lot of times, you're just trying to get a pitch over the plate for a strike, start the game on a high note.
Sure.
And Jeff McNeil, he's a big leaguer, knows that, and he's going to make you pay if you leave one up. And the 2-0, and it's swung on a miss. Big cut by Morabito. It's 2-1.
We're talking about a guy who's a .289 career hitter in his big league career in Jeff McNeil. He's a former batting champion in the National League.
And Chausse, the righty, fires home. Swung on, it's popped up. Fly ball lazily lofted down the right field line, and it'll go out of play foul. And it's 2-2.
And the flip side, as opposed to a 33-year, multi-year veteran player in Jeff McNeil, you're talking about a 21-year-old pitching prospect, and Moises Chausse won't be 22 until June the 9th.
2-2, the count even to Morabito. Pitch home from Chausse, swinging a miss on a slider. And Morabito goes down on strikes. First tonight for Moises Chaussee, and with 2 outs in the first, that'll bring Ryan Clifford to the plate.
And so let's see how he responds. And so far, he's responded well. Alvarez hit it well, but right at Trent Farquhar. And now he comes back and now facing guys who are at the level that he is, which is minor league level, and he throws and finishes off Morabito with a nice slider.
And first pitch to Clifford, down the chute for a called strike. It's 0-1.
Chaussee does have great stuff. Fastballs that are going to be in the mid-90s. He's got a sweeper, a cutter, and a change. All are considered plus pitches by professional scouts.
0-1 the count. Delivery is a bit outside. 1-1 to the lefty Ryan Clifford. Digs in, 205 hitter. A home run, 5 runs driven in for Clifford. He's mostly played first base. Makes his first start of the season in left field today for Binghamton. And the pitch home to him. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Got him in front of a slider at 79. And just like that, the Rumble Ponies find themselves in a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 2 outs, top 1. And the Fightin' Phils trail at 1-0. Chaussee, the righty, rocks and deals. That's outside. It's 2-2. Second start of the week for Chaussee. Went 2 1/3 innings on Tuesday. 2 runs, 2 hits. Struck out 4, walked 3. 6'1", 213-pounder from Venezuela. Fires a 2-2. That's a slider in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Good job by Disson keeping in front of him. Clifford, 2 for 4 and a home run in last night's ball game. It's a 3-2 count to him with 2 outs. Chaussee comes ready. He'll fire home the payoff pitch. Swinging a fly ball lofted towards deep right. Fergus back, turns. It's over his head and 1 hops the wall. Going towards second was Clifford. He will stop there. Cade Fergus played that one absolutely perfectly in right field and fired a bullet in. So he holds Clifford to just a single. Respecting the arm from Cade Fergus, and I don't blame you. He's got a cannon on him, and that'll bring Nick LaRusso to the plate.
Yeah, but I got to be honest. I did not watch Clifford off the bat, but he could not have busted it down the first baseline because he can rock.
That ball hung up there for a while, too.
It was. I mean, Fergus, I think, was just not in a good position to make that catch. It's just Clifford pulled it a little bit more than where Fergus was playing.
And first pitch to LaRusso is a strike. It's 0-1.
But I got to wonder if Clifford really was hustling out of the box because he's got good enough speed that he should have been around second. Now we're not disrespecting Fergus's arm, but Clifford wasn't even a threat to go to second.
0-1 the count to Nick LaRusso. Pitch home is down 1-1. And you got to give Fergus credit. Realize he wasn't going to make a play on it, so he sets himself to play it off the wall perfectly. And we know how strong of an arm he has. Fired it in the air from the warning track to second base. And Clifford respected that and kept himself parked at first. 17 pitches in this inning for Chaussee. Here's number 18. And it's a fastball down. It's 2-1.
And the wind is blowing out to right field, so I think that ultimately helped the ball that Clifford hit to sail over Fergus's head.
Yeah, off the bat, it didn't look like it was hit incredibly hard. But then, kind of like we saw earlier in the week, it kept carrying and carrying. Pitch home. That's a slider, misses up. It's 3-1.
Which makes me think that maybe off the bat, Clifford also thought it was a fly ball to right field and then realized, you know what? Maybe it's not. But by that time, it was too late. And in the end, if Fergus's throw actually was offline, had Clifford gone, he would have made it safely. But obviously, you don't know that when Clifford comes up firing, or Fergus comes up firing.
3-1 home is inside. That's ball 4. So after the home run and 2 quick outs, Clifford had this single. Now Nick LaRusso walks. And that'll bring J.T. Schwartz to the plate, and with that, that'll bring pitching coach Brad Bergeson out.
Yeah, this is a be careful moment right here for Moises Chaussee. You got a single and now a walk to complicate it, and a very dangerous, experienced hitter at the plate in J.T. Schwartz. This is a moment to just go out there and say, look, let's focus on the batter. Let's forget about where you are. You're an out away from being in the dugout, but let's not make this a 4-0 game. Let's not make a mistake to a really good hitter in J.T. Schwartz.
20 pitches in this top half of the first inning from Moises Chaussee. And Brad Bergeson will head back to the Fightin' Phils dugout. A couple extra words of encouragement from third baseman Luis Verdugo for Chausse. And I think that's something a lot of people forget, is how young Chausse still is. He won't be 22 until June. And he's on the 40-man roster, but a lot of that's just a byproduct of when you're an international free agent, you sign a lot earlier than a stateside guy gets drafted. So he's been playing professional ball for almost 6 years now. First pitch to JT Schwartz misses up. It's 1-0. JT Schwartz, a .333 hitter in the early going. He's 3 for 9. Was activated off the injury list this week by the Mets, and then sent to Binghamton. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. Chausse been on first and second deals, and the pitch is swung on and fouled towards the Fightin's dugout. It hopped over it, hit off the netting, and then fell into it. Everyone looks to be okay. Gene Cabrera picks it up.
Lots of bailing going on in there, rightfully so. Not sure where that thing was going to bounce.
Scattering like bowling pins they are. 1 ball, 1 strike to JT Schwartz. Chausse's ready. He'll fire home. That's swung on. It's popped up. Behind home plate, it'll go out of play foul. And it'll go 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sure as you can hear through the crowd mic, the wind picking up. It's been a windy week. Even when the weather's turned, it's still been very, very breezy outside. 1-2 count, 2 outs, top of the first. Rumble Ponies on top 1-0 with men on first and second. And JT Schwartz will step out and get time from home plate umpire Jack Wasson. Schwartz, couple of RBI already this week. Has hits in his last 2 games. Chausse, the ready at the belt. 1-2 home. Swinging a knuckler towards third. Verdugo charges. The runner stopped going to third, so Verdugo will just take it to the bag. Not sure what Clifford was doing. It's nothing like, I guess you kind of avoid a tag at that point, but It's a force, so Verdugo makes the smart play and just tags third base. So it's a 5 unassisted fielder's choice. That ends the top half for the first inning. In the frame for the fight for the Rumble Ponies, they scored a run. They did it on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 2 men left on base. We played a half. Binghamton 1. Reading coming to bat. Bottom half for the first inning. Binghamton 1, Fightin Phillies coming to bat, and here is how Reading lines up, presented by Golden Oaks Landscaping. Aidan Miller leads things off for the Fightin Phillies. Trent Farquhar leads things off for the Fightin Phillies at second base. Aidan Miller is second at shortstop. Henry Mendez third and left field. Keaton Anthony fourth at first. Leandro Pineda fifth to the eighth. Luis Verdugo sixth at third. Elio Prado seventh in center. Jordan Diston is eighth. He'll catch. Cade Fergus is ninth and will play right field. And it's Jonathan Pintaro on the mound for the Rumble Ponies. We'll get you his numbers here in a moment as he exchanged some baseballs with home plate umpire Jack Wasson. And now the righty, 6'2", 235-pounder, 27-year-old's ready, and all fire to Farquhar. Takes it upstairs for a ball, 1-0.
Pintaro making his third start of the season, just like Moises Chausse. And just like Moises Chausse, they face one another in Tuesday's opening round of the opening game of the series. Pintaro 0-1 with a 6.35 earned run average.
1-0, Farquhar, big cut and a miss. It's 1-1.
In his 2 starts so far, a total of 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 7 walks.
On a strike to Trent Farquhar. Pintaro will fire home. Farquhar swings, rolls it over, foul. It'll kick off to facing the dugout suite and then take a nice friendly roll to first base coach Michael Jones.
Pintaro was a very interesting story. Here's a guy who was playing independent baseball into June of last year before the Mets signed him. He pitched well enough after that. He's now considered their number 24 prospect.
1-2 is down, 2-2. And 27's old on the older side to be a ranked prospect, too.
Right. Especially when you were only with your organization for 3 months. Made 9 starts in Brooklyn and then 7 more in Binghamton, and then finished up the year with a start in Syracuse.
2-2 to Farquhar, takes it up high, and the count runs full to the Fightin's leadoff man. Tuesday night against Reading, Pintaro, 3 innings, 2 runs on a hit, did walk 3, strike out 4. And the 3-2 home. Farquhar swings, hits it towards first on 2 hops. Schwartz fields, Pintaro covering the bag, gets there in time. And the 2 of them connect for out number 1. 3-1 goes the put out, and that'll bring Aiden Miller to the plate for the Fightin' Phils. Set the defense real quick. JT Schwartz at first, Jeff McNeil at second, William Lugo at short, Nick LaRusso at third, Alex Ramirez in right, Nick Morabito in center, Ryan Clifford's in left, and Kevin Parada makes the start behind home plate as Francisco Alvarez will just be the DH today for Binghamton. Here's Aiden Miller, first pitch home. That's been inside to the righty. It's 1-0. Miller, 5 for 18 this week. It's a double and a home runs. Also scored 3 runs. The 1-0 is swung on and dribbled foul to the left side. It goes 1 ball and 1 strike. Miller hitless across his last 2, but he has reached base in a season best 7 games in a row now. Slightly open stance from the right side. Pitch home, Miller swings, hits it in the air, towards right, not deep, towards the line, and in comes Ramirez, and the right fielder into foul ground will make the catch. And that is out number 2. Miller retired. And there's 2 quick outs now for Hendry Mendez.
Ramirez was in center field last night. He's played all 3 outfield positions in this series. He went a long way to go get that. He made a nice running catch just before the fence. I thought perhaps that ball might fall in off the bat, foul, but at least give Miller another life. But Ramirez ran a long way to track that down.
So Mendez, the 3-hole hitter, in from the left side. Infield will play back, shaded towards the right against the lefty. And Pintaro will fire home. And Mendez swings, and he lines one down the left field line. Falling fast. Clifford will let it fall, and it goes by the left fielder, rolls to the wall. Mendez around first, heads to second. He'll stop there. It was a base hit regardless. Clifford, though, definitely misplayed in the left. And remember, it's his first start of the season out there. So Mendez on second. We'll see what they rule that, whether it's a double or a hit and an error. But regardless, 2-out base runner for Keaton Anthony.
Yeah, I think that's a double off the bat. It wasn't so much what Clifford did as much as what the ball did. It kind of took a sidewards hop away from Clifford when it hit the ground because of the fact it was coming off the end of the bat of Mendez. So it kind of took a sideways bounce, and that's what got it by Clifford. He didn't play it well, but it didn't take a friendly bounce in his direction. I think that's a clean double.
It is a double. First pitch to Anthony hits him.
Got him right in the elbow, it looked like.
Yeah. Hopefully they got a piece of that gear. Meg Flaherty, the athletic trainer, is coming out to take a look at him. He's shaking out that left hand.
Yeah, because and that's why I think it hit the elbow. Yeah, now he's holding the elbow, and that's what happens. You feel that
funny bone, the way he's
feel that
shaking
all
it.
the way down through the fingers.
More of a discomfort thing than a pain thing, especially with the funny bone. So now it's runners on first and second. That was also the 4th double of the year for Hendry Mendez. And Leandro Pineda is up to the plate for the Fightin' Phils. Meg Flaherty, the athletic trainer, returns back to the Fightin's dugout. So looks like Anthony is okay. Anthony, who received his minor league gold glove prior to last night's ball game. So 2 on, 2 outs for Leandro Pineda. See if he can come through with 2 outs. Pitch home, and he'll take it up and away. It's 1-0. Big spot for Pineda. Does not have a hit yet this year with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Alpadrique shuffling the lineup a little bit with that moving Mendez from the 5-hole to the 3-hole and Pineda from 3 to 5, and see if this can change the psyche a little bit for Pineda.
1-0 is Over for a strike, top of the zone. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to the lefty bat Pineda. He does have a double. He's got 3 RBI, all of which came on sac flies last week against Somerset. Runners get their leads. Pitch home. Pineda swings and a chopper towards second. 2 hops for McNeil. He'll field it chest high. His throw to first is in time. That will retire the side in the first. No runs to the Fightins. They had a hit. 2 men ultimately left. We're through 1. Binghamton 1. Fightins nothing. International Fireworks is the official sponsor of the Phillies fireworks shows during the 2025 season. Head to their store at 242 Sycamore Road in Douglasville or visit fireworksrus.com. Top half of the second inning, Fightin Phillies trail it 1-0 against Binghamton. And this the final game of this 6-game series between the Fightin Phillies and the Rumble Ponies. Moises Chassé, after a 24-pitch first inning, is back out for inning number 2. He'll get the bottom third of the Rumble Ponies lineup, starting with Kevin Parada, who will dig in from the right side. Parada, the catcher, first-round pick out of Georgia Tech back in 2022. And Chase's first pitch to him is a slider in for a called strike. It's 0-1. 148 on the year is Kevin Parada. Does have a couple of doubles. That's it for extra base hits. Also a home, an RBI. And the next pitch is a bit up. It's 1-1. One for 11 so far this week is Parada. He's mostly been the DH. The 1-1 is swung on and missed 1 and 2. Of course, the Francisco Alvarez here. He's been the catcher most of the days this week, but Alvarez at least getting a partial rest on Sunday, just DHing today, and then Parada returns to his normal post behind home plate. And the 1-2, that's up and in with a fastball. It's 2-2. Fightin Phillies in their red and hot dog jerseys today. Red and yellow tops, white pants. Red, white, and blue caps of a hot dog on the front. 2-2, swung on, ground ball foul. Pass to Reed Brignac in the third base coach's box. It'll keep the count even at 2. Parada, a 23-year-old from Pasadena, California. So he said he went to Georgia Tech, won the Buster Posey Award in 2022 as the nation's best catcher. 2-2 is swung on and it's crushed, but it's fouled down the left field line, and it'll stay 2-2. Do you know who the Buster Posey Award was named after before it was called the Buster Posey Award?
I do not. I'll guess and say Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench would be correct. Catcher for the Big Red Machine Reds of the 70s. 2-2, swing and a miss, struck him out. Got him swinging over a changeup was Moises Chassé. Second strikeout today for the 21-year-old. And that'll bring William Lugo to the plate for Binghamton.
Be interesting to see how Chassé can get through this inning. I think this is a big inning for him in terms of getting some extended length. Tuesday he went 2 1/3. He got himself into some trouble in the second inning. So let's see how he gets through this second inning.
First pitch to Lugo. Nice breaking ball in for a called strike. It's 0-1.
And then that can ultimately determine how far he can get into this game. Can he get through 3 and maybe into a 4th inning?
0-1 the count to the 8-hole hitter Lugo. Shortstop today. Pitch swung on, fouled off Lugo in the right hand of the batter's box. It's 0-2. Lugo, 23-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Signed with the Mets as an international free agent in 2018. Also is on the Mets spring breakout roster, as was Moises Chaussee with the Phillies. He started that spring breakout game for the Phils. 0-2. That's a slider just a hair low. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chaussee, the righty, working quickly. Glove in front of the face, so work from the windup and deal. Swing and a ground ball off the netting above the Binghamton dugout. And it'll stay 1 ball and 2 strikes. In that breakout game on March the 14th against the Pirates, Chaussee went 1-2-3 in the first inning, struck out 2 Pirates. And the 1-2 here is swung on, a chopper towards the middle. Miller ranging to his left field, sets himself behind the bag, and it's not in time. Keane Anthony can't believe it. I think they thought they had him. And that'll likely be an infield single for William Lugo with 1 out, and that'll bring Alex Ramirez to the plate.
It was a high chop off the plate, so that slows it down. In between Hopper and Miller, he did everything he could and got rid of it as fast as he could and got as much on it as he could. But as Jake said, Keaton Anthony certainly thought he was out. Jordan Disson, who was backing up the place, thought so as well.
First pitch to Ramirez, ground ball short, right to Miller. 2nd for 1, relay to first in time, so it won't matter. 6-4-3 double play to end the top half of the 2nd inning. No runs on a hit, no man left on base for the Rumble Ponies. We played 1.5 on to the home half of the 2nd. Binghamton still leads it 1-0. Bottom half of the 2nd inning is brought to you by Cornwall Manor, an active senior living not-for-profit community in scenic Cornwall, PA, outside of Lebanon. 1-0 Rumble Ponies on top in this bottom half of the 2nd inning. Crazy hot dog vendor doing his thing. Firing some hot dogs into the crowd. He's had some good throws today.
Arm.
That's a good arm for the hot dog vendor today. Maybe we should challenge him a little bit. So on this Sunday fun day with running hot dogs on the field, the crazy hot dog vendor throwing some hot dogs into the crowd.
Lots of kids with hot dog jerseys on as well. That was the giveaway I had for Kids Day, and a lot of them are wearing them now. Why take them home when you could put them right on?
Wear what the pros wear. So Luis Verdugo leads off for the Fightin' Phils, 6-7-8. Jonathan Pintaro's first pitch is a bit down for a ball. It's 1-0. Verdugo, 171 hitter on the young season. Does have a home run. And the pitch to him, swing and a miss, it's 1-1. We've talked about it earlier in the week. Verdugo's played a very, very good and very smooth third base. We'll step out and get time. Robert Moore's also spent some time at third base this year. And the pitch home is inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Phillies signed Verdugo as a minor league free agent back in December. with the Cubs system prior to this year. And the 2-1. Verdugo will take it for a strike. It's 2-2.
I think Al Padrica expected that Verdugo and was very complimentary of Verdugo for what he gave them defensively at third base. But I think the Phillies were hoping that they get a little bit more from him than they have so far offensively.
Next pitch, Verdugo takes it low and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes to him. Signed by the Cubs in 2017 as an international free agent from Mexico. And it's a full count to the righty bat. And Pintaro deals. Van Verdugo swings. Ground ball towards the middle. Lugo, the shortstop, to his left. Fields it. Throw to first is in time. Good stretch by J.T. Schwartz to hold the bag. So 6-3 goes to put out for out number 1. And that'll bring Ilio Prado to the plate for the Fightin' Phils. So Prado digs in from the right side. 1 out, bottom 2. Binghamton's on top 1-0. Pitch to him. Prado takes it for a called strike. It's 1-1. Prado at 184 on the early going. He's 4 for 15 this week. Does have a home run. 3 runs scored. He's also driven in 4. 0-1. Big cut and a whiff on a cutter. It's 0-2. Prado was a minor league Rule 5 pick of the Phillies out of the Orioles system this past offseason. 0-2 is outside. It's 1-2. Hit his first home run of the season on Tuesday night. Game in which the Fightins ultimately ran away with. Won 12-2 to open up this series against the Rumble Ponies. And the pitch home. Prado swings and he fouls it straight back. It stays 1-2. Jordan Disson, the catcher, awaits on deck. As the Fightin' Phils look to get to Jonathan Pintaro, who sits at 24 pitches through an inning and a third so far. Righty's ready at the belt, fires home. Prado takes it low and away. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes to him. It's a 5-mix pitch for Pintaro. 4-seam, 2-seam fastball. Change-up, cutter, sweeper. 2-2 the count. Pitch home. Swung on, ground ball. Softly hit towards third. Charging LaRusso Fields. Throws from the grass. Bit of a high throw. Schwartz held the bag, and it's in time. So that's out number 2. 6-3 goes the put out, and that'll bring Jordan at Disson to the plate.
There's been 3 ground outs in this ball game. 1 to McNeil, 1 to second, 1 to Lugo at short, and now 1 to LaRusso at third. And not one of those throws was on the bag. J.T. Schwartz hasn't been severely challenged, but not one of those throws was right at J.T. Schwartz. He had to come off the bag or with a foot. He had to make an adjustment on every one of those throws.
So here is Jordan Disson. First pitch has been inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Disson, local native from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. 286 on the early going with Reading. 1-0 is over for a called strike. It's 1-1. Began the year with high A Jersey Shore. Got assigned to Reading on the 16th, which would have been Wednesday this week, after Caleb Ricketts went down with an injury. And, of course, Paul McIntosh already hurt. 1-1. Big cut and a miss by Disson. It's 1-2. Had him out in front of a slider. On Friday night, had 2 hits and a run scored, which was his second start. So his 3rd time behind the plate this week. And he's got a 1 ball, 2 strike count on him. 2 outs, bottom 2, 1-0 Ponies. Pintaro comes set at the belt and deals home. That is over for a called strike 3. First strikeout today for Jonathan Pintaro comes of the looking variety. And that'll retire this side in the home half of the 2nd inning. Fightin' Phils go down in order. We will head it to the 3rd. Binghamton 1, Reading 0. Top half of the third inning, and we want to thank our good friends at Pepsi for presenting the 2025 season here in Baseball Town. Go Fightin' Phils and drink more Pepsi. So 1-0 Rumble Ponies on top as they begin this third inning. Moises Chasse back on the mound, completing his warm-up tosses, and it'll be the top of the lineup due-up. Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez, Nick Morabito. Bob, it's the second time you're seeing McNeil today. He ambushed you on a first pitch home run in the first. Do you think maybe Chasse tries to go a little backwards here, throw something off speed, maybe get in the chase?
I wouldn't throw him a strike, I can tell you that. I mean, he's going to go up there thinking the exact same thing he did the first time. Why wouldn't he think the same thing if you're Jeff McNeil? If you're going to give him a first pitch to hit, he's not going to sit on it. So if I'm Moises Chasse, I'm not going to give him a pitch to hit, at least to start.
I mean, McNeil has shown all week he wants to swing the bat.
Yep.
And Chasse will fire the first pitch to him. And he swings at the first pitch, drives it in the air, deep right field. Fergus back, he turns, and it's off the wall. McNeil heads to second. Fergus fires a strike that way, but it's a bit high and wide. So it's a double for Jeff McNeil. And like we said, he's hunting, and he got a pitch to hit, and he hits a double this time.
Yeah, and he watched it because he thought it was out, and he had a scramble to get into second base.
Probably a double regardless, though.
Yeah, I mean, there was no question about it. I mean, Fergus did what he could, but McNeil had a hustle to get to second base because he watched it, because he thought he was hit it out again. But again, this is what I'm talking about. This is a young pitcher and obviously a young catcher. You have to learn from what happened before that, and that is that Jeff McNeil is not going to sit around and wait for a pitch. If you give him a pitch to hit, he's going to swing at it. That's obviously what he did last night. It's what he did tonight.
Here's Francisco Alvarez swinging at the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
And so that's a better decision. Now he just threw Alvarez, who went up there thinking the exact same thing. He threw him a slider, and Alvarez swung through it.
No balls, one strike to count to Francisco Alvarez. See if they can get a ground ball to the left side to keep the runner at second, 0-1. Swung on and fouled back. It's 0-2. That goes out of play. There is some stretching in the Reading bullpen. Aberson Castellano just starting to move around a little bit. So got to think maybe this would be the last inning for Chasse.
Yeah, that double play to end the second was huge for Moises Chasse.
He's at 40 pitches. He's already at the belt, the 0-2. And McNeil watches as his teammate for the Mets, Alvarez, swings and fouls it back. It'll stay no balls and 2 strikes.
Right, so we don't know what the number is for Chasse. Is it 50 pitches? Is it 55 pitches? Or is it just a feel kind of thing for Chasse at this point in time in terms of how long they're going to allow him to go?
And the pitch. And Alvarez swings. He slices it foul down the right field line towards the grandstand. So that's 3 straight foul balls by Francisco Alvarez. And the first swing and a miss was listed as a foul tip, so technically he's fouled off every pitch he's seen this at bat. The ball is 2 strikes, no outs to the catcher Alvarez, top of the third. And the pitch is just down for a ball. It's 1-2.
That's a great pitch by Chasse. Even Alvarez had to take a look back, make sure that was going to be called ball 1.
Wesley Moore is throwing. So you got to think if Chasse can't get through this inning, it'll be Moore to finish it. This time is called by, looks like Francisco Alvarez.
He's having a conversation with home plate umpire Jack Wasson about what, I don't know.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Chasse checks the runner, deals home. That's down. Good block by Disson to keep McNeil at second. And it goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alvarez 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to second, his first time up. Jeff McNeil leads off a second. They're not really holding him on. Infield stays back. And Chasse fires and swinging a tapper right in front of the plate. Only play is to first. Chasse will field it, low throw, dug up by Anthony. So 1-3 goes to put out. Good as a bunt, though, as McNeil moves up to third. And that'll bring Nick Morabito to the plate. We'll see what the Fightins do defensively.
It's kind of interesting as these last 2 days have unfolded with these 2 guys on rehab from the Mets with McNeil and Alvarez. Alvarez looked a lot more comfortable at the beginning of this series than he has the last couple of nights. Again, a very defensive swing that time by Alvarez.
First pitch to Morabito's a strike, 0-1.
Where it's pretty obvious from watching the two games that Jeff McNeil's pretty much locked in. His swing looks pretty good, and his timing looks excellent.
Infield's up, but not in the grass, maybe about 3/4 of the way up. And the 0-1. Inside, it's 1-1 to Morabito.
Yeah, it's a 1-0 game, so you'd like to cut off that run, but at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice an out, so you don't want to necessarily give Morabito a little bit more infield to get through. So if it's hit hard into one of the infielders, they'll come home.
And the 1-1 is down. Another good block by Disson. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Morabito 0 for 1 today. He struck out swinging in the first. So Redding and Chausse would love another one of those strikeouts right here. But it's a 2-1 count, 1 out. Top of the third. Binghamton 1-0 as Jeff McNeil leads off a third. And the pitch. Swung on, hit in the air, well, deep left center field. Over to get it is Prado. He's behind it. He'll make the catch. McNeil will tag. There will be no play at home. So that's a sacrifice fly for Nick Morabito. That's his 4th RBI of the year. McNeil scores, and that makes it 2-0 Rumble Ponies. So Ryan Clifford, the batter now for Binghamton.
And that should allow now if Chausse can get through this with Clifford and or LaRussa behind him to allow Chausse to get through this inning. Now he starts this with 2 outs and the base is empty.
And the pitch to Clifford is over for a strike. It's 0-1. But when you factor out Jeff McNeil.
Right. Yeah. I mean, other than the fact that a big leaguer got him twice.
Chausse's been pretty sharp today. Yeah. Only he was walked 1 batter.
Right, he's made 2 mistakes. He threw 2.
0-1 is down, 1-1. And it's a good learning experience, too.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not going to see Jeff McNeil again in his game because obviously he's going to be done before McNeil gets up a third time, but that's the lesson to learn.
And the 1-1 is swung on by Clifford. Hit in the air, deep right center field. Fergus Prado back. Fergus there against the wall makes the catch. And that will retire the side here in the third. So in the inning for Binghamton, they do get a run. They did it on a hit. No errors, nobody left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Rumble Ponies on top, 2-0. Bottom half of the third inning is brought to you by Swartz Culleton PC. You can expect reliable and experienced attorneys who are committed to getting you justice after a serious personal injury. Call Swartz Culleton today at 1-800-JUSTICE. 2-0 Rumble Ponies on top in this home half of the third. Jake Starr, Bob McCool, appreciate you spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us, your holiday Sunday afternoon. And Reading will send 9-1-2 to the plate against Jonathan Pintaro. Cade Fergus will lead things off for Reading. Fergus had a triple in last night's ball game, which was the first triple hit by any members of the R-Phils this season. Had a home run 2 nights ago, and the first pitch to him is in the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Fergus's triple turned into a Little League home run after there was a throwing error out of left field from Binghamton. 0-1 is low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to the righty. So Averson Castellano is now throwing in the Reading bullpen, so that could be the end of the day for Moises Chaussee. 1-1 is bit outside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Fergus. He's at 217 on this season. Couple home runs. He's got 3 RBI. Double, triple, so 4 extra base hits in total. 2-1, swing and a miss. Got him behind a sinker at 96. And it's 2-2 to Fergus. Breaks out those yellow cleats like we've seen him do a lot on Sundays this year. Go well with the hot dog uniforms. You get to see someone do like a red cleat and a yellow cleat for ketchup and mustard on a hot dog Sunday. 2-2 the count to Cade Fergus. Pitch home. Swung on and a foul ball off of him in the right hand of the batter's box, and it'll stay 2-2. So at the 2 ball, 2 strike count to the right fielder Fergus, who stands even in the box. Pitch home, and he swings and he fights it back foul. It'll stay 2-2 to Fergus. Couple of hits this week for Fergus. Both have been extra bases. The 1 triple and the home run a couple of nights ago. And now time is called by Francisco Alvarez with the pitch clock dwindling down. Tried again at 2-2. Pintaro ready at the belt, and the righty deals home. And swing and a miss. Fergus goes down on strikes. Got him a fastball at 90, so it's the second strikeout for Jonathan Pintaro today. And 1 time through the orders. Look good so far. Now back to the top to Trent Farquhar.
Now this was the tipping point from Pintaro on Tuesday. He was able to get through 3 full.
Fergus digs in, first one home. Swing and a miss. It's no balls and 1 strike to Cade Fergus. Excuse me, Trent Farquhar. Farquhar, 222 hitter. He's got a 407 on base percentage. That ranks 10th best in the Eastern League so far this season. And the 0-1 is taken for a strike. It's 0-2. He's also tied for first in walks at 14. Also tied for the league lead in stolen bases with 6. It's a no ball, 2 strike count, 2-0 though. Pitch home is outside, 1-2. Told me the other day that his goal is that if I don't get on, I still want to make sure at the beginning of games I'm seeing as many pitches as possible for my teammates behind me who can see what to expect from the pitcher that day. 1-2, and he swings and misses at it. Can't catch up to a fastball at 96. Third strikeout for Pintaro. He's got 3 in a row dating back to last inning, and that'll bring Aiden Miller to the plate for Reading. Miller 0 for 1 in tonight's ball game. Popped up to right field last time up. And the first pitch to him's a slider for a strike. It's 0-1. Pair of home runs this year for Miller. He homered on Tuesday night. Opposite field shot in this series. Pitch home. And Miller swings and he fouls it. Shoots up into the main grandstand down the left field line.
Must have went underneath the fence.
Yeah, I don't know. That one took a weird carry.
It was over the bottom of the, over the top of the
dugout.
Rumble Ponies dugout, but somehow I think it squirted through it into the crowd.
0-2 to Miller, 2 outs. Pintaro ready at the belt. And the pitch. Miller swings and he fights it straight back foul. It'll stay 0-2. 2-0 Rumble Ponies on top in this bottom half of the 3rd inning. Jonathan Pintaro has retired the first 2 that he has faced in his frame. He has sent down 6 in a row in total. See if Aiden Miller can snap that here. And the 0-2. Miller swings, hits it in the air well towards left center. Morbito is over to his right, and he makes the catch. And that will retire the side here in the 3rd. 3 up, 3 down, go the Fightin' Phils again. We're through 3, on to the 4th. Binghamton 2, Reading 0. Top half of the fourth inning. New pitcher in for the Fightin' Phils is Aberson Castellano. And to tell you about him and to take over on the play-by-play, it's Bob McCool.
All right, thank you very much, Jake. Castellano making his third appearance. It's been kind of a piggyback ride between Chase to start and then Castellano to take over for him. And Castellano is 2-0 on the season in his 2 appearances. He has yet to give up an earned run. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs. As I said, 7 strikeouts and no walks. So he has been excellent so far in his outings for the Fightin' Phils, and that's what he's looking to do right here, is to keep the Rumble Ponies at bay and hope that the Fightin' Phils bats can come out of the slumber a little bit as they trail this game 2-0. They bat here with the Rumble Ponies batting here in the 4th. It'll be Nick LaRusso, J.T. Schwartz, and Kevin Parada to face Castellano, who in his 3 innings of work in Tuesday's opening game of this series gave up 4 hits, did not give up a run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. LaRusso walked his first time up, so Chase gave up the solo home run to Jeff McNeil to start the ball game, and then McNeil got him again on a double last inning, went to third on a ground out, and then scored on the sacrifice fly from Nick Norabito. That's how the Rumble Ponies have their 2 runs. LaRusso starts here, batting from the right side against the right-handed pitching of Aberson Castellano, whose first pitch is lined into center field. Back goes Parado a couple of steps, but he's in perfect position to make the catch for out number 1. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 4th. As Prado was played in a perfect position, actually backpedaled a little bit and then realized I don't have to go back that far. The wind was blowing out to right field earlier in the game. It looks like it's blowing in now on the center field flag above the Redner's Event Center. J.T. Schwartz now will bat. Schwartz grounded out to third base to end the 1st inning. Chase working out of some further trouble after the McNeil home run, and the first pitch to Schwartz is over for a called strike. Schwartz now 3 for 10 in this series. Every Tuesday, all active military and veterans receive their $3 off box seats thanks to Burke's Oral Surgery and Dental Implant Center. Phil's will be back here on Tuesday, April the 29th, as they'll start a 6-game series against Harrisburg after heading to Portland to begin a series on this coming Tuesday. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Schwartz as Castellano's second pitch to the left-hand hitter is above outside and high. 1-1 pitch is ripped down the first base line, but hooking foul. Schwartz hit it well, but hooked it into the first base grandstand. So it's 1-2 to Schwartz, who had a double and a home run earlier in this series. This is his first series back. We've talked about McNeil and Alvarez on their first series back on injury rehab for the Mets. J.T. Schwartz probably would have started this season at Syracuse, but got hurt during training camp and that set him back a little bit, so they start him in Binghamton instead. And now he's in a 1-2 hole. That's way outside as Castellanos throws that one all the way to the backstop. Make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schwartz had an excellent season with Binghamton last year through 64 games and then a promotion to AAA. Played his last 48 games of the season with Syracuse. This one lined into center field. Prado this time will have to range a little bit to his left, but no problem for the center fielder as he makes the first 2 outs of this 4th inning, and that will bring up Kevin Parada. Castellano, 23 years of age. He'll turn 24 on May the 9th. Like Chase, a Venezuelan native, signed by the Phillies as an international free agent in 2018. Facing Parada, who struck out against Chase the first time, and the first pitch to him this time is outside for a ball. One-0 pitch, back to the mound, off the glove of Castellano. He has to find it, pick it up, and throw, and he does so all in time. Nice play by Castellano. He knocked it down and ultimately found it, picked it up, and threw in time to Keaton Anthony at first base to retire the side. So the Rumble Ponies in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 2-0. Ponies on top. Klein Transportation is proud to be the official transportation provider of the Reading Fightin' Phils. Klein Transportation gets the R-Phils to all their road trips throughout the 2025 season. For more information, go to kleintransportation.com. As I mentioned a moment ago, the Phils will be on the road to Portland, Maine to begin a 6-game series on Tuesday. We're returning back here on April the 29th to take on the Harrisburg Senators for 6 games, running through the first Sunday of May. Your next chance to see the Fightin' Phils, and we got something going on here. It looks like JT Schwartz. Something happened there. Bree Brignac and the trainer have come out to JT Schwartz. They're calling somebody out of the bullpen. I don't know what's going on.
Are they switch? Is someone switching positions?
JT Schwartz is coming out.
And Nick
so
LaRusso's
going to
third.
First, and I think Wyatt Young maybe is coming in third. So Wyatt
Young at third. That's hopefully everything is okay. He looks okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, he obviously batted in the inning and flew out to center field. Came out defensively at first base. Don't know if he was feeling a little dizzy. Something wasn't right. Again, he just came off the disabled list. Maybe re-aggravated whatever it was that had it on the disabled list before the season started, but maybe did it in the swing. Obviously, lots of speculation on our part, but JT Schwartz was out for the warm-ups. And then all of a sudden, Reed Brignac and the trainer came out, and he's now out of the ballgame. So a couple of changes. And there's been a few of them for the Rumble Ponies over the course of this week.
That's for sure. Hopefully, Schwartz is okay. If we get any sort of updates, we'll definitely let you know. But, yeah, it's an interesting situation.
So LaRusso goes from third to first. Wyatt Young is now in to play third. And in the meantime, Hendry Mendez is at the plate, swings at the first pitch, chopper up the middle, far ranging to his left as Lugo slips and falls and will not be able to make a throw, and that'll be an infield single for Hendry Mendez, who's now 2 for 2.
You got to think that'll be a single unless they ruled an error, but I was thinking as that ball was up, I'm like, it's a shame that was such a high chopper because he put it in a good spot, and then Lugo slips, and it is a base hit, so if you're Mendez, you'll take that.
So a double and a single now for Mendez as he takes his lead off at first, and the Phils now have the tying run at the plate in the presence of Keaton Anthony, who was hit by a pitch his first time up by Pintero on the first pitch he saw. So Anthony 3 for 15 in this series after a night off last night. Swings at the first pitch as well, but comes up empty. So Pintero pitched in 3 innings in game 1 in this series, and now is into this 4th inning. With Mendez at first and nobody out. 0-1 pitch. On the outside corner, strike 2. Anthony to be followed by Leandro Pineda. Three, 4, and 5 in the Fightin's order here this afternoon. And that's just a bit low. It's 1 and 2 now to Anthony. Mendez takes his lead off of first. Anthony fouls this one out of play. Anthony was awarded the Gold Glove yesterday prior to the game in a ceremony. I wonder where that is right now. Where do you think he's keeping that?
Hopefully on a mantle somewhere.
Does he have a mantle?
That's wherever a fair question.
Be. Just asking. If you need somebody to hold it, I'll take it for until the season's over. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Keaton Anthony goes down swinging. 4th strikeout for Pintero. 1 out here in the 4th. That'll bring up Leandro Pineda, who grounded out to second his first time up. Pineda now 1 for 15 in this series. It has been a struggle for Pineda to get this season started. Swings at the first pitch here, hits a hard ground ball that's through on the right side for a base hit. Mendez will hold up, and Pineda does get that single. Now a bobble in the outfield, and Ramirez juggled it, and Mendez makes him pay for it as he gets to third base. The throw is late, and with that, Pineda adds on to that mistake by moving up to second base.
Yeah, first of all, just big for Pineda. Just to see something go through, because he's hit some balls hard, just right at guys. To see something go through, just get under the glove of McNeil, just mentally has got to do so much for your confidence, so that's big. And then, yeah, Ramirez with the error, which is going to be his 2nd of the year. Just a bobble in right field, and now the Fightin' Phil's got 2nd and 3rd, less than 2 outs. Have to try to get at least one of these home.
Brings up Luis Verdugo. Ground out to short his first time up. Romo Ponies with the infield back as Verdugo shoots one down the first base line. Little Ole action from Michael Jones, the first base coach.
If I could have hugged the line, that would have been a bases clearing double.
So Mendez at third, Pineda at second, 1 out, and Verdugo at the plate in a 0-1 hole. Verdugo with 5 RBIs on the season and a big spot here. And that just misses. It's 1-1. So the Ponies pretty much conceding a run here for Verdugo if he can put the ball in play. Pintero's 1-1 pitch. On the ground towards short. Lugo will make the throw to first, and with that, Mendez will come across, and the Phils are on the board. It's a RBI for Luis Verdugo, and it's now a 2-1 game.
6 runs driven into the season for Verdugo, and it's just good situational baseball. He knows, hey, the infield's back. I just got to put it in play. All I got to do is put wood to ball, and we get a run here, and that's exactly what he did.
So the error allowing Mendez to get the third, and then Verdugo brings him home to make it 2-1 now. With Pineda still at second and 2 outs, Elio Prado will bat. Prado lines one up the middle of the center field for a base hit. Pineda is being waved around. He will score, and the Fightin' Phils have tied it at 2-2.
Good stuff there from Elio Prado, his 7th RBI of the season. And the Fightin' Phils needed something offensively right there. I think that Ramirez error, and then just some good situational hitting by Verdugo and a good swing from Prado puts the Fightin' Phils in a good spot.
And this is exactly, Jake, what they did in Game 1 and Game 2. When Binghamton made a mistake, they made them pay for it in the win on Tuesday, in the win on Wednesday. They made a mistake there, put 2 runners in scoring position, and they've made them pay for it by getting both of them home. So now it's a new game at 2-2 with a runner at first base and 2 out. Kevin Parada is going to go out and have a conversation with his pitcher. As Pintero runs into his first trouble here in the 4th inning. Phils are not yet done with Jordan Disson now at the plate. and a man at first base and 2 out to see if perhaps Prado isn't moving here. Pretty good sized lead off of first. First pitch there for a called strike to Disson.
A couple of steals already this year for Prado in 3 attempts, and no Francisco Alvarez behind the plate, and because they've had trouble stealing on him. I think they're like 1 for 4, 1 for 5 against him, so maybe they do try to test it.
Not here. Swing and a miss for Disson as he chases a pitch up high, and now he's in a no balls and 2 strike hole. Now I would be very surprised if he's not going, because worst case scenario, if he gets thrown out, Disson starts with a clean count to start the following inning. So we'll see if Prado does indeed take off here. No balls and 2 strikes. Nope, not running and not swinging. So it's a ball low for Disson.
And it's smart, all things considered. You don't want to run on the fastball. When you take off 0-2, you're doing it thinking, okay, maybe he spikes a breaking pitch or just something slower to the plate. That time it's a fastball, so we'll see what they go with here.
Patera about to deliver his 60th pitch. He does take off. The throw is down to second base. It doesn't matter. It was a called strike 3. Disson is retired on the strikeout. So none of the aftermath of the throwdown matters as Pintero gets his 5th strikeout to end the inning. But the Fightins get 2 runs. They do it on 3 hits. There was 1 error and nobody and 1 man left on base. We head to the 5th, now tied in Reading at 2 apiece. Brand new ball game as we start the top half of the 5th inning with the Fightin' Phils and the Rumble Ponies tied at 2 apiece. Rumble Ponies with a run in the 1st, another one in the 3rd, and the Phils tied up with a 2 spot in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Aberson Castellano back for his 2nd inning of work for the Fightin' Phils. And at Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies put 3 runs across in the bottom of the 1st inning. Bryce Harper with a 2-run double, Nick Castellanos with an RBI single. And so it's a 3-1 game in Philadelphia as the Phillies are going for the sweep of the Miami Marlins. And the first pitch to William Lugo leading off this 5th inning is a swing and a miss as Castellanos starts him with a curveball that Lugo's way out in front of. Lugo singled his first time up. Phils play him around the pull. The right-handed hitter takes one for a ball. It's 1-1. Lugo's 2nd hit of this series was that base hit the last time up. So 2 for 8 in total in the series. 1-1 pitch, fouled straight back. Castellanos last year at Jersey Shore made 12 starts, promoted to Reading on July the 16th. Made 8 more starts here in Baseball Town. Went 2-3 with Reading with a 3.79 earned run average. Struck out 50 batters in 40 1/3 innings. Just 9 walks. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss, and Lugo goes down swinging. So Castellano has now retired the first 4 batters that he has seen since coming on for Moises Chasse. 1 out here in the 5th for Alex Ramirez. Ramirez hit into a double play that ended the 2nd inning. And first pitch is up and in, brushing him off the plate. Ramirez 2 for 19 now in this series. He's also struck out 7 times. Breaking ball and a good one. He just missed it a bit high. It's 2-0. But he had locked up Ramirez, who was not thinking he was going to see a 1-0 breaking ball. And another one, and he locked him up again, and now it's 2-1. So Castellano threw him a first ball fastball, then came back with a 1-0 curveball that he wasn't expecting, came right back with a 2-0 curveball that he was expecting even less. It's 2 balls and a strike. And why not do it again? But this time he just misses outside. It's 3-1. So Castellano has to be having Ramirez guessing a little bit, but now it's 3 balls and 1 strike to it. Fastball right by him, it's 3-2. Came right back with a heat at 97 and blew it past him to get the count full. Castellano will turn 24 on May the 9th. 3-2 pitch, up high, ball 4, he lost it. So Ramirez works the walk with 1 out, and that brings up the top of the order in Jeff McNeil. So McNeil has seen 2 pitches so far in this game. Homered off of Moises Chesse on the first pitch of the game, and then on the second pitch he saw, his first pitch swinging the second time up, he hit one off the wall in right field for a double. So let's see where Castellano goes with him here. Big lead for Ramirez. He is ready to take off. Bluffed and stopped, and McNeil again swings at the first pitch and lines a single into right field for a base hit. So Jeff McNeil is 3 for 3, and he's seen 3 pitches. First and second now with 1 out. Ramirez looked like he was going to take off, then stopped, and then looked like he was again going to take off and stopped. And fortunate for the Phils, he stops at second base with 1 out, and now Francisco Alvarez at the plate. Alvarez 0 for 2 on the day. New York Mets starting catcher a year ago is now 5 for 19 in this series as part of his injury rehab. Out with a hamate bone injury. He's in spring training. First pitch swinging here is a breaking ball that's low for a ball. So 2 on, 1 out in a 2-2 game, top half of the 5th inning. Alvarez takes another one away. It's 2-0. So the walk by Castellano to the 9-hole hitter Ramirez kind of opens up a door here for Binghamton, as the Rumble Ponies are trying to regain the lead here in the top of the 5th. 2-0 pitch. Lined into right field, that's going to be a base hit. Fergus up with it on a hop, and they're going to put up the stop sign with Fergus's strong arm. The throw in cut off by Keaton Anthony. Reed Brignac was not going to take a chance. He put up the stop sign immediately. So it is a base hit that loads the bases now with 1 out. And will bring up Nick Morabito. So nice piece of hitting there by Alvarez. Just went the other way with the pitch on the outside part of the plate and lined it into right field. And Fergus was on it in a hurry. So Ramirez stops at third. McNeil now at second. Alvarez at first with 1 out. And Nick Morabito at the plate. And the first pitch to him, just a bit outside for a ball. Phil's with the infield back, looking for a double play ball to get this inning over. They were able to end the second inning with a double play. Would love to see one here, but Morabito runs well. One-0 pitch. There for a strike. Today's Fightin' Phils alumni report presented by Deer Country. Bryson Stott back in the leadoff spot for the Phils in today's game at Citizens Bank Park. got that first inning started, led off the game with a single. He's now hitting .300, batting leadoff for the Phillies. And that's a breaking ball that just misses a bit high. It is 2 balls and 1 strike. So Stott singled, then Harper, and then Turner singled, and Harper followed with a 2-run double, and Castellanos brought Harper in for the Phillies' 3-1 lead over the Marlins. So there's your Deer Country alumni report. Bryson Stott, the former Reading Fightin' Phil. 2-1 pitch, line foul and out of play off the bat of Nick Morabito. The count is 2-2. Obviously, a strikeout here for Castellano would be huge. Morabito struck out in the first, sacrifice fly in the third. Driving in his 4th RBI of the season. 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, it's 3-2. Obviously, nowhere to go, so Morabito knows that Castellano has to come in with something here. Count full, bases full. 1 out, top of the 5th. Castellano delivers. Misses ball 4. So that will walk in a run, puts the Rumble Ponies right back up on top as Ramirez comes across with run number 3. Morabito get another RBI, his 2nd of the ballgame. 2nd walk of the inning for Castellano. And the bases remain loaded. And a conversation to be had now on the mound as Brad Bergeson, the pitching coach for the Fightin' Phils, will come out and talk with Aberson Castellano, who looked to be in a great spot through the first 4 batters he faced, but the next 4 have now got on base. Started with a walk to Ramirez, then the back-to-back singles from McNeil and Alvarez, and now a walk to Morabito to bring in a run and put Binghamton right back up on top at 3-2. No action in the Phil's bullpen. So Castellano facing his first real adversity now in 2025. Surrendering his first run of the year. As Ryan Clifford now will bat. Clifford 1 for 2. First pitch to him is over for a called strike. The left-hand hitting Ryan Clifford singled in the first. Flew out to right field his last time up. His single is actually off the right field fence, and a good play by Fergus holding him to a single. 0-1 pitch. Rip foul down the first base line. Mario Duncan avoids it. Duncan coaching at first. Reed Brignac, the manager for the Rumble Ponies, at third. To wait for Cade Fergus to come back and get back into position. Fergus had to go track down that foul ball. The 0-2 pitch coming to Ryan Clifford. In the dirt, good block by Disson. Keep everybody on their bases. The count now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ryan Clifford. Clifford 6 for 21 now in this series. Has 4 of his 5 RBIs on the season in this series as well, and a prime position for more. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Castellano delivers. Lifted into shallow left field. Mendez comes in on it, makes the catch. McNeil will tag, but he will not go as Mendez airs it home and holds him at third base. Not deep enough for him to score. That's out number 2.
Yeah, pretty much a perfect situation right there. Shallow enough for McNeil's not going to challenge it, and if he did, he would have been a dead duck. That was a perfect throw from Hendry Mendez. And look, it hasn't been the cleanest of innings for Aberson Castellano. He's at 32 pitches. You find a way to get Nick LaRusso here. You keep it to just the 1 run. I think you'll take that at this point.
LaRusso 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Walked back in the first inning, flew out to center field his last time up, hit it well. First pitch to him. He's just a bit up, ball 1. Russo has 5 hits in this series. 2 of them are doubles. Castellano delivers the 1-0 pitch. That's there for a strike. Fastball on the outside corner at 96 from Castellano. He reached back and blew a fastball by Alex Ramirez earlier in this inning at 97. There's 1-1 pitch coming. Lifted, fouled on the first baseline. And so he's now a strike away from getting out of this inning as he's got LaRusso in a 1-2 count. Just misses outside. The count is 2-2. Well, we gave our Deer Country alumni report earlier, but I'm going to update it because Alec Boehm doubled and Johan Rojas brought him home with a single, and the Phillies lead at 4-1. Johan Rojas is heating up.
He's looking real good right now.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Castellano gets out of any further trouble for the Ponies in the 5th. They do get a run. They did it on 2 hits. There were no errors, and they leave the bases loaded. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Binghamton back up on top, 3-2. The Alberta University Gold Wolves call. The bullpen has been made for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Jonathan Pintero is out, and in is right-hander Alex Carrillo.
Third appearance of the year for Carrillo. He's gone 2 1/3, 4 earned runs, 3 hits, a home run allowed, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. The opposition so far is hitting .273 against Alex Carrillo this season.
So Jonathan Pintero goes 4 innings, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned, no walks and 5 strikeouts. So he cannot factor into the decision, nor can Moises Chasse after the Phils had tied it up. And now with the Rumble Ponies back up on top, the Fightin' Phils will send Cade Fergus, Trent Farquhar, and Aiden Miller. That's 9-1 and 2 up here to face Castillo in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cade Fergus struck out his first time up. It's kind of been a feast or famine type of series for Cade Fergus. He's 2 for 10 in the series. Jake said earlier, a triple and a home run were his 2 hits. He's also struck out 5 times. First pitch to him. Just a bit outside for a ball. And the 1-0 pitch is also outside, so Carrillo misses 2 in a row out of the strike zone. 2 balls and no strikes. Swing and a miss. 2-1. This inning presented by Cornwall Manor, a unique and charming community nestled on a 190-acre wooded campus with many walking trails, including the Lebanon County Rail Trail. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cade Fergus, leading off the bottom of the 5th. And that's on the outside corner. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fergus does not agree.
Yeah, look what we got up here. Does not look like it was in the strike zone. I think there's some fans here that don't agree either.
So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fergus will call a timeout. Back in the box. And Correa delivers. Swing and a miss, strike three. Ferguson goes down swinging again. And that's one out here in the fifth for the top of the order and Trent Farquhar. Farquhar 0 for 2 on the day. The top two in this lineup have gone cold as this series has unfolded. Both Farquhar and Maiden Miller have scuffled to get on board of late. Farquhar beats one foul. Farquhar now 4 for 17 in this series. Miller is now 5 for 20 as he stands in the on-deck circle. No balls and a strike to Farquhar. Up the middle, slow roller. Lugo, the shortstop, is there in time, and the throw as well in time to get Farquhar for out number 2.
He hit it in the right spot, just couldn't barrel it up enough to get it through. Gave enough time for William Lugo, the shortstop, to get over and make a play.
So that'll bring up Miller, who has flown out to center field both at bats so far in this ballgame. And despite that, Nick Morabito will cheat him a little bit the other way. Just to the right field side of second base. Opens up that left center field gap, and the first pitch to Miller is there for a called strike. And the second one is outside. It's 1-1. So after his 3 for 3 plus a walk game on a Wednesday, it looked like Aiden Miller had kind of sized things up a little bit. Hit the ball well, some nice hits out of it, but has had just one hit since. 1-1 pitch is low. It's 2-1. That's inside. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike to Miller.
You got a hitter's count. See if he can lock in on one pitch, one spot, and if he gets it, give it a rip.
Correa pitching from the stretch. He does get a pitch to hit, but he fouls it towards the Rumble Pony dugout. The count's full.
Yeah, no, it was a good pitch to swing at, just a little bit out in front of it. See if he can get another good pitch here and give it a good rip.
At 3-2, Correa delivers. Ripped into left field, but it's going to hang up for Clifford. No, it'll not. It'll fall in front of Ryan Clifford. He kind of hesitated for a moment, and Aiden Miller gets himself a base hit.
It's been weird today. I don't know if it's the wind or something, but there's been balls that have looked well hit that then hang up. Right. Then that one hung up, but didn't hang up enough. It's just weird skies today. I don't know if it's just the light changing the perspective of things. Obviously, this is an earlier side game here.
And again, Ryan Clifford is playing left field for the first time, so that may have something to do with it. He may have just hesitated. But Aiden Miller will take it. That's a base hit, and that brings up Henry Mendez, who's 2 for 2. The first pitch to him is over for a called strike.
Miller's got a huge lead. He almost is fully past the cutout at first base.
So no balls and 1 strike to left-hand hitting Henry Mendez. And that's up and away. 1-1.
See if Mendez can drive a gap here. He's got Clifford playing a bit towards the line. Morabito has him shaded towards left center. Ramirez pretty straight up. So if he gets one in that right center gap and get it to the wall, Miller should be able to score.
And Kevin Parada was looking into the Rumble Pony dugout right before Correa went into his stretch, and so he comes with a pickoff attempt. So clearly that was called from the dugout. Jake said Miller with a good lead at first. 1-1 pitch. Just misses. It's 2-1. Mendez doubled in the first, singled, and scored in the 4th inning. Scored the first of 2 runs for the Phillies in the 4th inning. Tied the game up at that point in time. They're back down 3-2 here. Tying run at first base and 2 outs. Bottom half of the 5th. Miller does take off. Pitch is lifted into center field. Morabito will drift over and he'll make the catch. And that will do it for the Phils in the 5th inning. So they do get a man on, but they cannot get him around Fightin's in the fifth. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. 5 complete. 3-2. Rumble Ponies on top. Established in 1928, the Manor Golf Club is one of the oldest public courses in eastern Pennsylvania. Located between Philadelphia, Lancaster, and Allentown in Sinking Spring, it offers a true test of golf on a championship-style course. Visit themanorgolfclub.com for more information. Averson Castellano back out for his 3rd inning of work. Ran into some trouble in the 5th. Gave up a run. That's the difference on the scoreboard right now. 3-2 Rumble Ponies on top as we start the 6th. And it will be J.T. Schwartz, was due up to lead off, but came out of the game. So Wyatt Young now will bat for the first time. After Schwartz went 0 for 2 on the night. Came out at the beginning of the last inning to come out to play first base. And for whatever reason came out. Young swings at the first pitch. High chopper right to Keaton Anthony. He'll make the play by himself. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 6th.
Well, you'll take that. 1 pitch, easy hop for Keaton Anthony. Makes the play look easy. And if you're Castellano, you can find a way to bounce back here and have yourself a clean inning. Feel pretty good about where you're at right now.
Brings Kevin Parada to the plate. Parada 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out in the 2nd. Grounded back to Moises Chasse his last time up. Chasse started. Castellano now in his 3rd inning. After Chasse went 3 innings as well. The first pitch to Parada is over for a called strike. Go 1 pitch in the dirt for a ball. Parada was a highly coveted player coming out of college. As Jake said, he won the Buster Posey Award for his work at Georgia Tech. In 2 years, he hit .340 with 35 home runs and 130 RBIs, but that bat has not produced so far in professional baseball. And he swings and misses at this. He's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kind of a weird scenario for Parada. He's 23, and Francisco Alvarez, who's now in his 2nd season with the Mets, is also 23. And obviously Alvarez is pretty much kind of established himself as the Mets' #1 catcher. Parada, in the meantime, swings and misses, and he is a strikeout victim for the 2nd time today. 3rd strikeout for Castellano, and he's got 2 quick outs here in the 6th.
Yeah, very good start to this inning for Castellano. If he gets through this inning, he will have pitched the first 9 innings he's gone this year and would have allowed just 1 earned run through the first 9 if he can get William Lugo out here.
Struck him out the last time to start this 5th inning. And the first pitch to him is over for called strike 1. So Lugo 1 for 2 on the day, singled in the 2nd inning, and as I said, struck out in the 5th. As the Rumble Ponies sent 7 men to the plate in that 5th inning and left the bases loaded. Castellano delivers again, and this one is hooked foul into the 3rd base grandstand. And he's quickly ahead of Lugo, no balls and 2 strikes. So both bullpens are quiet right now. Castellano about to deliver his 45th pitch of his outing. And this one's lined into right field, but Fergus is there, just back a little bit, and he'll make the catch. And it is a pretty quick inning for Castellano as the Rumble Ponies are retired in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll head to the bottom of the sixth. Still 3-2, Binghamton on top. This day in baseball town history, presented by Body Zone Sports and Wellness, the official workout facility of the Fightin' Phils. April 20th, 2015, here in Reading, Roman Quinn and Aaron Altier, two guys who ultimately made it to the big leagues, lead the Fightin' Phils to their fifth straight win, a 9-4 triumph over Akron. Quinn goes 3 for 3 with a double, a walk, and 3 runs, an RBI and a stolen base. Altier is 2 for 4 with his first homer of the season and 4 RBIs. This day in baseball town history, April the 20th, 2015. I asked the general manager, Scott Hunsinger, today, when was the last time the Phils were home on Easter Sunday? He said 13 years ago. As Keith Anthony leads this 6th inning off and takes one up and in for a ball. Anthony 0 for 1 was hit by a pitch and struck out in his 2 plate appearances, both of those against Jonathan Patero. Alex Carrillo back out for his 2nd inning of work, and he delivers a pitch that Anthony fouls out of play to make it 1 ball and 1 strike. Anthony to be followed by Leandro Pineda and Luis Verdugo. 4, 5, and 6 in the Phils lineup today. 1-1 pitch, up and in. It's 2-1. And Anthony took one off the left elbow in his first at bat. This one lifts it into right field and falling fast and will drop in for a base hit. As it's fielded on the hop by Nick Morabito and gets it back into the infield after a leadoff single for Keaton Anthony.
Yeah, some better swings these last couple of innings from the Phils. Really, obviously had some good swings on Pintaro late, and then I've had some good swings on Carrillo early. So, I mean, look, you're down 1 in the 6th inning, plenty of baseball to play. See if you can get the bats rolling here.
There's Leandro Pineda, who was a big piece of that 2-run 4th inning with a single, came around to score. Just his 2nd hit of the series. See if we can get some carryover here with Anthony taking his lead off of first. First pitch, lifts it down the third baseline, foul territory. Prada and Young will give it a chase, but well into the seats. Pineda, 22 years of age, another of the Venezuelan natives on this Fightin' Phils team. Signed as an international free agent by the Phillies in 2018. 1 pitch. Ripped down the first base line, but hooked it foul. Hit it a ton, but also foul. And it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, that was a good swing. 375 feet, 103 off the bat. He had that single last time up. Good swing there. Maybe Pineda's kind of starting to feel some more confidence in that swing right now.
Calls time. After he's promoted from Jersey Shore, he hit 8 home runs with the Blue Claws, and then in a very limited stretch of just 12 games, he hit 3 more home runs here in Reading before the injury shut down his season. He takes this one inside. It's 1-2. So you got to think that the Phillies are pretty confident that Leandro Pineda would be a factor for this Fightin' Phils team in 2025. And right now that is longing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And inside again, it's 2-2. So he hasn't chased after getting in a no balls and 2 strike hole. Anthony again will take his lead off of first. Nobody out, bottom half of the 6th. Fist this one foul. Might want to check that bat.
I was going to say, there's no way he didn't break that bat, right?
I think certainly sounded it. He's headed to the dugout. But he didn't do the proverbial bat tap on the ground, so I'm guessing he just didn't bother. He knew.
I think when you know, you know.
It sure sounded like he broke it because it was well in on his fists. So it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes and a new piece of lumber for Leandro Pineda. And you can tell it's new because it's got nothing on it. That's as fresh as a daisy right there in his hands right now. Pickoff attempt. Anthony dives back in, just barely beat the tag. I mean, there's nothing on that bat. There's no pine tar. There's not a mark of any kind on that bat.
Hope there's some pine tar on that bat.
Doesn't look like it.
For the sake of especially the guys in the Phillies dugout right now.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Rips this one into right field, but Ramirez is right there as it hangs up for him, and that's out number 1.
Looked like got a little bit in on the hands. It was a fastball down and in, and yeah, he just couldn't get enough of the barrel on that. That'll bring Luis Verdugo up. You know, it almost kind of brings up the conversation about those torpedo bats. I don't think we've really talked much about them on air. I don't know what your thoughts are on them. It's definitely, you know, an interesting concept. You're a guy who's more prone to getting jammed than kind of having the barrel of the bat lower. It's not the worst idea in the world.
Luis Verdugo bats 0 for 2 with a couple of ground balls to shortstop in this game. The last one did drive in a run for the Phils as he was up with 2nd and 3rd and 1 out and got the Fightin' Phils on the board with that ground out. No balls and a strike as Anthony takes his lead off of first. This one lifted straight up in the air, shallow right field. Looks like Morabito, the center fielder, will give way to the right fielder Ramirez for out number 2. So 2 quick outs now after the leadoff single by Keaton Anthony, and Elio Prado will bat. Prado drove in the 2nd run with a single his last time up, 1 for 2 with the RBI, his 5th RBI of the series, his 7th of the season. But yeah, I mean, everything about it is Major League Baseball says they're legal. It's approved by all the specs for the bats. That's way inside. Snap throw down. Anthony dives back in. So that's 1-0 to Prado. But I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised that bat style did be and was approved by Major League Baseball that quickly. I mean, almost like it wasn't there in spring training. Like the Yankees kind of waited for the season to start before they broke them out.
Which seems smart.
Yeah.
If you do it in spring training and
right.
things.
Nobody gets get adjusted to it. And it certainly helped in that first series because they pounded the Brewers pitching with those bats early on. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Elio Prado. Line right up the middle, but right there's McNeil, and hit off of him, and the ball is loose in the infield. McNeil is shaken up a bit. I don't know if he lost that in the sun. He was in position, and it may have just sliced on him, and it hit him, I believe, either in the arm or the face.
He's touching his face. Yeah, now Lugo comes over and is like touching the left side of his face to say that's where it was.
So we'll see how these guys got to be a base hit, I would think. I don't know. I'm not sure how McNeil lost it. If it was something in the crowd, somehow it was a low line drive and he was in position, but it kind of started to slice on him a little bit. And it just came back and it must have got him in the face. So everybody's safe.
So he's going to get up here.
It's already a single on the board, and I think it should have been. So McNeil, who's here on an injury rehab because of an oblique strain, now just took a line drive.
It looks like he'll stay in. Of course, you're holding your breath
right
on that. He's here on an injury rehab. You don't want to re-injure anything or take a ball off the face, but looks like he's okay. Could be more. I'm sure he's going to be sore tomorrow, but I'm sure a lot of it's just shock, if anything.
So you had Francisco Alvarez, who's here because he broke the hamate bone in his hand and got hit by a pitch in the hand earlier in this series. And now McNeil, who's here on injury rehab, gets for an oblique strain, takes a line drive off his face. And now Prado is safe at second for his second hit. And the Fightin' Phils now have the tying run in scoring position with 2 outs. 2 on, 2 outs for Jordan Disson, who has struck out in both of his plate appearances so far this afternoon.
So it is officially a single in the book. So second hit of the day for Prado.
First pitch to Disson. Curveball and a good one. It's no balls and a strike. Disson, the right-handed hitter. Correa delivers. That's over for a called strike, too. Same pitch. Cutter from Carrillo. And pretty much on the same spot. Disson's taking them both for strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will retire the side as Carrillo strikes out for the Disson strikes out for the 3rd time, and the 2nd strikeout for Carrillo. For the Phils in the 6th, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left, 6 complete. It remains 3-2 Binghamton on top. Top half of the 7th inning is presented by White Star Travel, the official group sponsor of the Reading Fightin' Phils. Visit whitestartours.com for more information. Well, we do have the answer to the question. Emerson Castellano is back out there to pitch this 7th inning. So at 45 pitches, as Jake said, that's where he finished up in Tuesday's game, throwing 45 pitches. So the Phils will bring him back out here to pitch this 7th inning. And we'll see if the Phils don't get some bullpen activity. In the event that Castellano starts to get in any trouble, he'll face 9, 1, and 2 due up in the Binghamton order, which means Alex Ramirez will be followed by Jeff McNeil and Francisco Alvarez. And that's where Castellano ran into trouble back in the 5th inning by walking Ramirez, followed by a couple of hits from McNeil and Alvarez. Ramirez 0 for 1 with the walk, the run scored, and hit a double play. This one a slow roller to Farquhar. That'll be an easy play at first base for 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 7th. So that helps the cause for Castellano as he faces McNeil now. McNeil has been a problem. 3 for 3 in the day. He's seen 3 pitches. First pitch hit for a home run. Second pitch he saw in his second at bat, he hit for a double. And on the first pitch, swinging again, last time up, hit a single. So he's a triple away from the cycle. And let's see if he swings at the first pitch here.
He swung the first pitch all 3 at-bats, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm throwing something in the dirt here.
Absolutely. Just don't throw him don't throw him a strike, that's for sure. Or throw him a changeup if you're going to throw a strike. He threw it in the dirt.
And he took it.
I'm good with that. Neil was a little bit slow to come out of the dugout. No doubt, maybe checking to see wherever he got hit on that line drive in the inning. Maybe have a little extra look with the trainer. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. There is a good off-speed pitch, and McNeil swings over the top of it. So now it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, McNeil, a career .289 hitter on the season. A couple of seasons ago, he won the National League batting championship. Hit .238 last year with 12 home runs and 44 RBIs. This one lined up the middle, and he's 4 for 4. Prado will get it back into the infield and hold McNeil to a single. But Jeff McNeil looks like he's ready to go, as Alvarez will bat. Alvarez 1 for 3 on the day, singled the last time up, a line drive into right field. Also grounded out to second, grounded out to the pitcher. So 1 for 3 and now 6 for 20 in this series. First pitch to him. There for a called strike 1.
See if Castellano, if this is going to be his last inning, is that going to be at a season high for innings and for pitches? We can get a ground ball here. Find a way to finish on a high note, get a double play. He's at 49 pitches already. Next one will be 50.
And his pitch. Hard ground ball to short. Miller to second for 1. It'll be an easy double play as Alvarez jogs to first base.
Call me a psychic, Bob.
4-3 is the double play. And Castellano gets out of any further problems in the 7th for the Rumble Ponies. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And as Jake said, nobody left on base. 7th inning stretch time. It's 3-2, Ponies on top. Bottom half of the 7th inning is brought to you by Swartz Culleton PC. Have you or a loved one been injured? Get justice. Call Swartz Culleton today at 1-800-JUSTICE. And the Alberta University Golden Wolves call the bullpen for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. We'll bring in right-hander Joshua Corneli.
Third appearance for Corneli. He's 0-1. He's allowed 4 earned runs over 3 1/3. 10.80 ERA. A home run allowed, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 214. Opponent's batting average. I'll have 9-1-2 here for the Fightin' Phils. See if they can work their way back, down by 1.
He will face Cade Fergus, and then the top of the order, Trent Farquhar and Aiden Miller here in the 7th. Fergus 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. And the first pitch to him is over for a called strike 1. So Fergus struck out once against Pintero and once against Carrillo. And now faces his 3rd different pitcher in this game as he faces Corneli. And the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Corneli, 24-year-old right-hander, native of Caracas, Venezuela. It's amazing how many Venezuelan players we have seen over the early moments of this season. Make the manager of the Reading Fightin' Phils happy, that's for sure. His native land. No balls and 2 strikes to Cade Fergus. Swing and a miss. Fergus, a strikeout victim for the 3rd time today. And that brings up Trent Farquhar, who's also an 0 for today. He's 0 for 3 so far. Corneli signed by the Mets as an international free agent in 2018. Appeared in 25 games last year for Brooklyn, and then a call-up to Binghamton to appear in his final 10 games of the season, as Farquhar takes one up and in for a ball. With the Rumble Ponies last year, appeared in just 16 innings, 39 1/3 innings at High A Brooklyn. He struck out 50 batters in his 39 1/3 innings at Brooklyn. 1-0 pitch. Up and away, it's ball 2. Farquhar fouls this one straight back. Get the first strike. It's 2-1. Corneli pitched in game 1 of this series. Went an inning and 2/3. Gave up a hit, a couple of runs. Walked 2 and struck out 1. In what was a 12-2 Fightin' Phils win. 2-1 pitch to Farquhar. Swing and a miss. Fightin's won Tuesday and then came back with a 7-4 win on Wednesday. And then the Rumble Ponies have won 3 straight. 6-2 on Thursday, 6-5 on Friday, and then 6-1 last night. The Phils trying to at least gain a split out of this series, but they're down 3-2 here, batting in the bottom of the 7th. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Farquhar. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Corneli. 2 down here in the 7th for Aiden Miller. Miller singled his last time up, 1 for 3. The base hit is 6th of this series. First pitch to him is over in the outside corner for a called strike. I don't think Aiden Miller would agree. A 1 pitch. He's in the dirt, ball 1. It's 1-1. Said this before in this series, but Nick Morabito, the center fielder, plays Aiden Miller very much around the other way. And we haven't seen a whole lot of Aiden Miller going the other way. I mean, one of his 2 home runs was to right center. But most of his base hits have been pull side. 1-1. Line down the third base line, and that is a fair ball and going to be extra bases. Miller will round first base as Clifford has to dig it out of the corner, and Aiden Miller's got himself a 2-out double.
Good swings, back-to-back at-bats for Aiden Miller. Good to see. No strikeouts today, couple of base hits. I think that's exactly what you want to see, and we've talked about it. I mean, had a couple quiet nights the last few, but it really feels like this week Miller has taken some good steps in the right direction and continues to look more comfortable seeing pitching at this level.
His second double of the season, his 4th extra base hit. He now represents the tying run at second for Hendry Mendez, who's 2 for 2 on the day. And first pitch swinging, comes up empty.
Yeah, just need a single here if you're Mendez. Anything in the grass should score Miller.
Mendez with 3 RBIs on the season. Miller with a good lead off of second. Lugo sneaking in behind him. The left-hand hitter up. And this one's in the dirt. Good block by Parada to keep Miller at second. So with that double by Aiden Miller, I reiterate my point as to why is Nick Morabito playing in the other way. I mean, again, I think we've seen maybe 1 extra base hit the other way.
That was the home run on.
Yeah. He couldn't have caught that no matter where he was playing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Down the third base line, but foul.
Miller hit it hard, too. It was 103 off the bat. Like, that wasn't just like a ground ball that snuck by Young. That was a hard hit line drive down the line.
Yeah, that was a well hit, extra base hit off the bat. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Hendry Mendez. As the Phils try and get the tying run across here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Slow roller down the first base side, but foul.
Yeah, good fight by Mendez. It was out of the zone, but it was a slider with 2 strikes. One of those pitches that just too close to take, and a good job by him just getting something on it. Now see if you can get Corneli to make a mistake here. And Mendez, like he says, got good bat-to-ball skills. See if you can make him pay for a base hit.
Neely takes a look at Miller. Again, Lugo sneaking in behind him from shortstop. Pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss. And that will do it as Mendez goes chasing for the strikeout, then which Corneli ends up striking out the side for the Fightins in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, another one left on base. We have 7 in the books. It remains 3-2, Rumble Ponies on top. We head to the top half of the 8th inning, and the Alvernia University Golden Wolves call. The bullpen has been made. Right-hander Andrew Bechtold will come on now for the Fightin' Phils, and Jake Starr will tell you all about him and take over the play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Bob. Andrew Bechtold enters his 5th appearance of the season for the Fightin' Phils. He's 0-1. He's got a 6.75 ERA. 4 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Morbito will lead it off for Binghamton against Bechtold. Bechtold in for Aberson Castellano, who was strong today. 4 innings, 3 hits, a run it was earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Really just that 5th inning, a bit of a rough patch for him. But outside of that, Aberson Castellanos continue to look good. 10 innings, 1 earned run so far this season for Castellano. Now that he's at 4 innings, you wonder when the Phillies and Fightin' Phils will maybe think about moving him back to the starting rotation. Here's Nick Morbito. First pitch to him is a ball. It's 1-0 to him. Morbito is just 0 for 1 in today's game, but he does have a couple of RBI. 1 on a sac fly, 1 on a bases loaded walk. And the 1-0 home. It's a breaking pitch. Nice one. In for a strike. It's 1-1. Morbito just 21 years old. Hit his first AA home run a night ago, going back-to-back with Ryan Clifford. 1-1. Swung on and lifted foul. It's 1-2. Morbito, 21 years old. Competitive balance round 2. Draft pick by the Mets in 2022. Pitch home. Swung on. Ground ball right side. Farquhar has to come a couple of steps to his left to field it. He gets it. And the second baseman's throw to first is in time for out number 1. 4-3 goes the put out. And that'll bring Ryan Clifford to the plate for the Rumble Ponies. Ryan Clifford will dig in from the right side. 1 for 3 in tonight's ball game. And the pitch to him, taking a bit upstairs for a ball. It's 1-0. Ryan Clifford. So 1 ball, no strike count to the Rumble Ponies left fielder today. Next pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Bechtold looking good early. That last fastball, 97 from him. Bechtold, minor league veteran, originally from Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania. About an hour from here. 1-1, swung on, ground ball, gets past Anthony in the right field for a base hit. Over towards the line goes Fergus. He'll cut it off and holds Ryan Clifford to just a 1-out single. And that'll bring Nick LaRusso to the plate. (3-2) Rumble Ponies on top. In this top half of the 8th inning. Fightin' Phils 6 outs to work with to try and fight back and at least get themselves a split of this week's 6-game series. First pitch swung on, hit in the air, out towards left. Not deep, to his right goes Mendez. And the left fielder makes the catch, and that's out number 2. So 1 pitch, another out, and that'll bring the third baseman Wyatt Young to the plate.
Third baseman Wyatt Young.
Wyatt Young came into the game for JT Schwartz. Schwartz, who started the game at first base, left with what looked to be an apparent injury. And he's in the game at third base. Nick LaRusso went over to first. First pitch to Young. Swung on and a tapper towards second. 3 hops for Farquhar, who ranges to his left, vacuums it up, and fires the first in time. And that will retire the side in the 8th. No runs on a hit for the Rumble Ponies. No errors. 1 man left. We will head to the home half of the 8th. Fightin' Phils. 1 work to do. It's 3-2. Binghamton on top. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Let's take a look at our Fightin' Phil's team leaders, presented by PA Army National Guard. And entering today's game, Fightin' Phil's team leader in hits and in doubles, and also the leadoff man of this inning, Keaton Anthony. Entering today had 12 hits and 6 doubles. Another hit today to get himself to a team best 13. And the new pitcher that Anthony will face is Douglas Orellana for the Rumble Ponies. 4th arm today for them.
Making his 2nd appearance of this series and his 4th overall appearance. No decisions and a 1.93 earned run average. Orellana, 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up a hit, 1 run. It was earned, struck out 8, has not walked a batter.
So 4, 5, 6 due up for the Fightin' Phils here in the 8th. Let's see if Reading can rally a bit here. They trail at 3-2, 6 outs to work with. Trying to get themselves a split of this series with the Rumble Ponies. Keaton Anthony digs in from the right side against Orellana. And righty on righty, first pitch a bit inside Anthony. It's 1-0. Orellana pitched in Wednesday night's game. No decision, a hit, a run. It was earned. No walks and a strikeout. Next pitch, Anthony. It's a breaker, that's down. 2 balls, no strikes.
Talking about not walking a batter, the Ponies pitchers have not walked a batter in this one. McLean walked 4 yesterday, but pitched really, really well.
Next pitch. That gets the knees for a called strike, 2-1. Don't think Anthony was too thrilled with it.
But you go back to Friday's game. Ponies pitchers walked 1, and they walked 2 in the game on Thursday.
2-1, up and in Anthony. So 3 balls, 1 strike. So very good count here for the Fightin's cleanup man. He's got a home run on the season. It came a week ago today. Was the game-winning shot at Somerset. Well, it was a big come-from-behind Sunday win for the Fightins. 3-1 is down. That's ball 4. So Bob pretty much just
speak it into existence.
Spoke it right into existence.
You can use that announcer's jinx to the good of the humanity as well. So you talk about it, and then you draw a walk. But that was the difference. In the 12-2 win, the Rumble Ponies pitchers walked 9. And then the Phils come back with a 7-4 win. They walked 4. So just the point being that the Rumble Ponies have really thrown strikes over the course of the last couple games, and not surprisingly, they've won the ball games.
First pitch to Leandro Pineda, misses a bit up. It's 1-0. Pineda's had some good swings today. He singled and scored in the 4th, and he fouled one down the right field line last time up that was a home run if it was fair. 1-0. He swings, and he fouls it straight down, 1-1. Went 375 feet. Was over 100 miles per hour off the bat from Pineda during his at-bat in the 6th. He ultimately did fly out the right in that inning. Let's see if we can just get another base hit here. Keep the line moving. 1-1. Breaking pitch. That's a strike. It's 1-2. It's a slider at 85 from Douglas Orellana. So 1-2 the count now to Leandro Pineda. DH today. Pitch home. He swings, knuckles one foul, and out of play to the left side. I didn't see it, but judging by the sounds like someone had a chance to catch it and didn't.
And they have the ball, and they have a glove, but apparently they did not necessarily coincide.
Pineda takes time out. It stays 1-2. Pineda 1 for 3 today. He had that single and scored a run back in the 4th. And the 1-2 is down for a ball. It's 2-2. Also has a new second baseman for the Rumble Ponies. Looks like Yanni Hernandez is into the game at second. So it looks like Jeff McNeil's day is done.
That's a good thing for the Phils.
2-2 is swung on, ground ball down the third base line. Young has it, thought about second for a moment, then goes to first. It's in time. So Wyatt Young does make a nice play, throws out Pineda, but it does move up the runner, Anthony, to second. So 5-3 goes the put out. That brings Elise Verdugo to the plate. So, yeah, so the infield is 3/4 different than the way the game started. LaRusso at first, Hernandez second, Lugo at short, and Wyatt Young is at third.
And technically, Lugo was supposed to start at third tonight, and he went to short. So
yeah, Jet Williams wasn't the original lineup.
Correct.
So Luis Verdugo is up for the Fightin' Phils. 1 out of the inning, pitch home is a strike. It's 0-1.
Tough break for Pineda. He's just kind of hit that slow roll to third. Wyatt Young made a really good play at it. Play on it, backing up. I thought perhaps he'd still be able to beat it out, but he got enough on to throw that he was able to get Pineda.
1-0 the count, pitch home. And Verdugo just taps it. Little excuse me swing right back to the mound. Oriana fielded it coming to his left, and he flips to first. Runner does go to third, and Anthony. 1-3 the put out, and that's now Elio Prado up. Verdugo did not mean to hit that at all.
Nope, very much the excuse me swing. He started and stopped, but unfortunately for him, the bat was out there over the strike zone. Ball hit bat, and it turns into an easy play for Oriana. But Anthony does move up to third base, and now Prado, who's had a couple of big hits in this one.
First pitch to Prado. That's a breaking pitch. That's a strike. It's 0-1. Prado 2 for 3, had the RBI single in the fourth. That tied the game at that moment. Let's see if he can tie the game here. Anthony leads off third. No one holding him on. Infield's back. Pitch home. And that's taken for a ball, 1-1. Prado checked. They appeal to Trevor Patience at first. He says no swing, very clearly. Prado up to 7 RBI this year. He's hitting .220. He's got a home run. And the 1-1 is swung on and hit straight back foul. And lands in a couple of vacant seats, about 20 rows up in the blue seats. And it's 1-2.
Prado's the one who also had the line drive that ended up hitting off of Jeff McNeil. That you don't know if that necessarily is the reason why McNeil is now out of the game. He did bat again. He did get another base hit.
1-2 is swung on, hit in the air towards left, not deep. In comes Ryan Clifford, and he makes the catch, and that'll retire the side in the 8th. No runs to the Fightin' Phils. They left a man on base on third. We will head to the 9th. Binghamton 3, Reading 2. Top of the 9th inning, and tonight's attendance at FirstEnergy Stadium is 4,084. Thanks to our friends at PSECU for presenting tonight's attendance. PSECU is proud to be one of the largest credit unions in Pennsylvania. So new pitcher in for the Fightin' Phils. It's Andrew Walling, the left-handed arm.
Makes his 5th appearance without a decision and a 4.15 earned run average in 4 1/3 innings pitched. 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 7 strikeouts, and just 1 walk.
So Andrew Walling will face the bottom third of the Binghamton lineup. It'll start with Kevin Parada. And Bob, for Walling, it's simple here. Let's give us a 1-run game.
Yep. Make the effort a little bit less for the Phils. Don't want to. The runs have been at a premium over the course of the last couple of games. You don't want to make that deficit any worse than a 1-run difference right now.
So Kevin Parada will dig in from the right side. Andrew Walling fires home. The first pitch a bit down and in. It's 1-0. Walling, 3 of his 4 outings this year have been scoreless. Got tagged for a couple of runs in an inning against Somerset on April the 12th. That was last Saturday. Next pitch is outside. It's 2-0. Walling set at the belt, fires home. Swinging a foul tip. It's 2-1. Andrew Bechtold a good day. Inning, gave up the hit, but zeros across the rest of the way. Fastball looked good from Bechtold today. Was sitting in upper 90s, 97. Saw flashed a couple of times for the Chester County native. 2-1 is swung on, lifted foul. It's 2-2. Looks like Binghamton does have action in their bullpen. Carlos Guzman is up and throwing, so we'll see if he gets the bottom of the 9th inning for the Rumble Ponies, who lead at 3-2. And the first pitch is up. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kevin Parada 0 for 3 today. Couple of strikeouts and a ground out back to the pitcher. And 3-2 from Walling. Swung on, popped up, foul behind home plate and out of play. Parada at 133, no home runs. Does have a couple of doubles. And has driven in 1 run so far this season. Lefty Walling comes ready against the righty Parada. Stands slightly open in the right-handed box. Pitch home. Swung on, hit in the air towards left, over towards the line. Long run for Hendry Mendez, and it'll land foul. Just in front of that Smucker's hardscaping sign down the left field line. And we'll do it again at 3-2 as Parada, who is halfway between first and second, now has to return to home plate. I think Parada's in no particular hurry to get back in. Probably catching his breath a little bit.
I would imagine Henry Mendez is happy about that. I would imagine Henry Mendez is like, yeah, take your time, dude. I can use a breather myself. He had to run a lot faster than Parada did.
So 3-2. Count remains, no out still. The leadoff man of the inning, Parada. Pitch home. And that is just outside, ball 4. So leadoff walk issued by Walling. 4th issued by Fightin Phil's pitching today. And that'll bring William Lugo to the plate for the Rumble Ponies. Walling pitched in Wednesday night's game. It was a 4-out save for him. He's currently 2 for 2 in save opportunities on the season. And the pitch home. Nice breaking pitch in for a strike. It's 0-1. Lugo today's 1 for 3. Single in the second, strikeout, and then he lined out the right. And the pitch to him. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Fightin Phil's looking to turn 2. Anthony holds the runner on at first. Farquhar at second is shaded close to the bag. So huge hole on the right side. Miller's a couple of steps in and straight up at short, and Verdugo's pretty straight up at third. And the 0-2. That's inside. Good block by Disson, but it got away from him. So up to second will go Parada. Assume it's going to be a wild pitch because he wasn't running otherwise.
Correct. But a great jump by Parada. He saw that pitch was in the dirt. I think he started cheating off the bag, not realizing when on the delivery of that pitch it was going to be in the dirt. That's the catcher in him, knowing full well that Disson's going to have some trouble with it, but not far enough that he couldn't have gotten back. But once it got away, Parada was off. Good heads-up base running.
Well, pitch to Walling. Next pitch is a ball. It's 2-2. Carlos Guzman continues to throw in the Rumble Ponies bullpen out of left field. And the 2-2 is down 3-2. So William Lugo has worked his way back in this count against Andrew Walling. Three-two, no outs, top 9. Parada leads off second. Ponies lead by 1. Looking for some insurance runs here. And the 3-2. Breaking pitch, it's swung on. It's popped up in the infield, left side. It's a mile high. Luis Verdugo, the third baseman, comes in, and he makes the catch. And that is out number 1, and that'll bring Alex Ramirez up to the plate.
That's a great pitch by Walling. He's kind of all over the place a little bit with Parada and Lugo, but he had him 3-2, and Lugo's got to be thinking, well, he's got to throw me a fastball here. He just bounced a curveball, and it turned out to be a 3-2 curveball, and Lugo was way out in front of it, hit it straight up in the air.
So here is Ramirez. Ready bat, first pitch. It's a strike. It's 0-1. Got the outside corner with a fastball at 90. Infield remains back. Farquhar shaded close to the bag, at least keeping an eye on Parada, leaving him honest out there. And the pitch is a slider that misses up. It's 1-1. Alex Ramirez is 0 for 2 today. Did walk and score a run back in the 5th. And the 1-1 is at the knees for a strike. Also hit into a double play, one of 2 that Reading has turned today. Fightin Phillies at 13 on the season, which is 2nd in the Eastern League, and 7 this week. Their 5 entering today was tied for 1st in the league. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Got Ramirez out in front of a slider at 81, and there's 2 outs in the inning, and now it'll bring Yanni Hernandez to the plate. Hernandez, who came in defensively for Jeff McNeil, now gets the bat for the first time.
Well, I said it when we mentioned that in the inning when Hernandez came in defensively, that getting McNeil out of the game, that's a big spot because, again, here's McNeil would be up right now after going 4 for 4 in this game with a chance to add on here.
So first one to Hernandez, misses up and away. It's 1-0.
So McNeil finishes his 2 games here in Reading going 6 for 9 with 2 home runs and a double.
I think he might be ready.
I think he's probably pretty much good to go back.
May have been 4 at-bats was always the plan today for McNeil.
Right.
Hernandez, 3 for 11 this week. 1-0 is inside. That time a really good stop by Disson to keep that in front and keep Kevin Parada at second base.
Yeah, that is a great block. Got the body over in front of it, but got it in the mitt, and it's stuck.
And depending on what happens here, that could be a very big block. Of course, you hope this batter's out, but they say it's a hard hit ground ball to right for a base hit. Leaves the runner at third. 2-0. Outside, it's 3-0.
This is what you don't want to do here. If Alvarez in the on-deck circle, you've got to go after Yanni Hernandez. You cannot walk it.
2 outs, top 9, 3-2, Binghamton on top. Both teams 8 hits today. And the pitch. There's a strike, it's 3-1, gets a slider over. Hernandez currently on a 5-game hitting streak, 5 for 17 over that stretch, so a hair over 300. And the 3-1 is outside, ball 4. So second walk issued this inning by Andrew Walling, and that'll bring Francisco Alvarez to the plate.
Gonna bring Brad Bergeson out of the dugout. Now you're playing with fire right now if you're Andrew Walling. You're putting 2 guys on board for Francisco Alvarez, who's 1 for 4 in this game, but he's going to have one thing in his mind when he walks to the plate right now, and that's to put enough cushion in this game that the bottom of the 9th isn't as big of an issue for the Rumble Ponies.
So quick mound visit for Brad Bergeson, home plate umpire Jack Wasson, the crew chief. Went out to break it up, but didn't even get to the mound before it broke up. 4th mound visit of the day for the Fightin Phillies as Jack Wasson signals to both dugouts and up to the press box. So Francisco Alvarez digs in from the right side. He's got guys on first and second, 2 outs, top 9. He's a righty, Walling the lefty. Set at the belt, fires home. And way up and away, it's 1-0. Missed with a fastball at 89.
He's thrown some pitches that have been not just wild, but way out of the strike zone.
Alvarez 1 for 4 today, singled in the 5th, grounded into a double play his last time up in the 7th. 1-0. There's a strike. It's 1-1. Alvarez 6 for 21 over his rehab stint with Binghamton this week. 1-1 is swung on and it's popped up. Lazily fly ball foul, and it goes out of play on the first base side. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beautiful spring-like afternoon here in Baseball Town on this Easter Sunday. And it's a 1 ball, 2 strike count to Francisco Alvarez. And the pitch. Swung on, line drive right to the Gold Glover, Keaton Anthony at first, who makes the catch. And that will retire the side in the top of the 9th. No runs, no hits. 2 men left on base for the Rumble Ponies. It's rally time for the Fightin' Phils. They trail at 3-2 as we head to the bottom half for the 9th inning. Bottom half for the 9th inning brings in a new pitcher for the Rumble Ponies. 5th of the day, and looking for the save, it's Carlos Guzman.
He does not have a save. This is just his 2nd appearance. No decisions, no earned run average as well. He's pitched an inning and 2/3, given up just 1 hit, struck out 3, and walked 1.
So he'll get 8-9-1 of the Reading lineup. And the first batter he'll get will be a pinch hitter. It'll be Robert Moore, who pinch hits for Jordan Disson here. And we'll see who comes out on the on-deck circle. It looks like it's Cade Fergus, so looks like Fergus will bat. Fergus has had some clutch moments in the 9th inning. A week ago today, had a solo home run to tie the game in Somerset before Keaton Anthony gave Reading the lead. But first, it'll be Robert Moore to lead things off. Guzman in for Douglas Orellana, who went an inning, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, and 0 strikeouts. So Guzman completes his warm-up tosses. Kevin Parada throws it down, and that'll bring Robert Moore to the plate for Reading. Moore's had a good week. He's hitting .385 this week. He's got a 1.361 OPS, 4 runs, a double, 2 home runs, 7 RBI, and a stolen base. Let's see if Robert Moore can at least get things started here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Switch hitter bats from the left side against the righty Guzman. First pitch, Moore takes it up and away for a ball. It's 1-0.
Wyatt Young at 3rd, playing even with the bag, but well off the line. Moore would drop a bunt down here. Be a great spot.
And the 1-0 is up in the zone. It's 1-1. Just the 2nd time this year Reading has gone to a pinch hitter. And the 1-1, Moore takes it down low, 2-1. Of course, there's been subs, whether it's been defensive or due to injury, but traditional pinch hitter, just the 2nd time in 15 games they've done it. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to Robert Moore. Pitch to him, takes it up, 3-1. Now this is where you're really selective if you're Moore. One pitch, one spot.
Yep.
That's the lefty bat's looking for. And a 3-1. He swings, fouls it straight back. Got a pitch to hit and put a good swing on it, but just a little under it. And it's 3-2 to Robert Moore.
And with that, Wyatt Young now backs up at third base.
Knowing the bunt's out of the question.
That is correct. Again, Morabito plays into the pull side of second, and Clifford kind of cheating a little bit the other way in left field. Huge gap in left center field.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Robert Moore. Reading trails by 1, bottom 9. Pitch out. Swings and he pops it up. It's out of play, foul. Good fight by Robert Moore on the 6th pitch of the at-bat that he saw. Moore, 346 hitter. Leads the Fightin' Phils in average, on base percentage, slugging, and OPS. 3-2 again. That is down, ball 4. Great plate appearance by Robert Moore to start this inning.
Mission accomplished.
And that'll bring,
Yep.
and that'll now bring the winning run to the plate in Cade Fergus. It's been a quiet day for Cade Fergus, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. But the theme for him has kind of been the same all week. It's been quiet start and then late inning extra base hit.
Yeah.
See if you can get that again here. First pitch, he squares the bunt and he pops it up, and the catch is made by Kevin Parada.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Now, that's the smart move. That's what Al Padrique likes to do and play that kind of baseball, but that's just a terrible attempt by Cade Fergus. He dropped the bat late, popped it straight up in the air in foul territory.
Let's see if the top of the lineup can now pick up their teammate. First, it's going to be Trent Farquhar. He's 0 for 2 today. Moore gets the lead off first. 1 out, bottom 9. And the pitch, up and in the Farquhar. It's 1-0, which dropped momentarily by Parada. But Moore stays put. Ball was not far enough away from the catcher. One ball, no strikes to Trent Farquhar. Pitch home. That's a strike. It's 1-1. Moore aboard. Farquhar's the winning run. Moore's the tying run. Of course, the thoughts has got to be find a way to keep the line moving. You got Aiden Miller waiting on deck. The 1-1. He squares the bunt. Stabs at it, doesn't make contact. It's 1-2.
It's a good idea. Again, Young is playing back at third base with left-hand hitter. If he can get that ball in the grass in fair territory, he's going to beat that out. But now with 2 strikes, that's going to allow Young to back up at third base, take the bunt out of the equation.
Ball and 2 strikes to count to Trent Farquhar. 0 for 4 today. Looking for a big hit here. The 1-2. That is down. Great take by him on the slider, 2-2. That's a tough one to lay off of with 2 strikes. So even count to Farquhar, 1 out, bottom 9. Moore leads off first, Fightin' trail at 3-2. Pitch home. Farquhar swings, line drive, falling fast in the left field for a base hit. Moore gets the second, had to hold up for a moment. But now Reading's got runners on first and second for Aiden Miller.
Well, you got the guy at the plate you want to have at the plate. There's no doubt about that, and he's got hits his last 2 times up.
Miller's 2 for 4 today. Single in the 5th, double in the 7th, and now it's going to be a full team meeting here. You wonder, are they discussing some sort of a play here?
Yeah, I'm sure this has something to do with, this is about defense as much as it is anything.
Knock everything down is probably the first thing.
Right. There's 1 out in the inning, so look to turn the double play.
For what it's worth, Guzman still has the ball in his hand, so no funny business. I wonder how they approach Miller here. It's a one-run game. Miller digs in. 1 out, bottom 9. 3-2 our score. Fightin' Phillies trailing. Looking for a walk-off win on this Sunday. First pitch. Miller swings, and it's a line drive right to the second baseman. Hernandez makes the catch. Robert Moore slides back in safely to avoid the double play. Miller hit it on the nose. It's a base hit most times, but Yanni Hernandez had it played perfectly for out number 2.
Yep, nothing more you can do about it if you're Aiden Miller. You hit it on the button, you hit it up the middle, but defense was there, and then it was a race to get back to the bag between Hernandez and Robert Moore, and Moore dives back in to keep the inning alive.
So here's Hendry Mendez, last chance for the Fight-Ins with 2 outs. And the pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1. He was trying to win it right there.
Yeah, he was.
So the Fightin' Phillies trailed entering the 9th inning twice last week. Game 1 against Somerset, Game 6 against Somerset. They came back and won both after only winning 1 game last year when trailing entering the 9th. 0-1 is swung on, hit in the air, slicing foul down the left field line. It's 0-2. And now Reading, trying to do that for the 3rd time this season, is down to its final strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Farquhar on first. Robert Moore on second. Bottom 9, 3-2, Binghamton leads. The lefty Mendez awaits. Guzman, the righty, set at the letters. The 0-2 is down. Good block by the catcher. They'll throw behind Moore. He's back in safely. It's 1-2.
Robert Moore's getting a workout at second base right now. He is taking a generous lead off the bag in anticipation of something happening off the bat of Mendez, because obviously he represents the tying run. Prada with a snap throw down.
You'd think he played the whole game with how dirty his uniform is right now. Just came into the 9th. So here we go, 1-2 again, 2 outs. Runners get their leads, not being held on. Pitch home. Swung on, ground ball first. Not hit hard. LaRusso has it, flips to the pitcher covering, and Guzman, and that is the end of the ball game. Well, Reading showed fight once again in the 9th inning, but the Rumble Ponies ultimately are victorious and win their 4th straight game to close out this week's 6-game series. No runs in the inning for Reading on a hit. There were no errors. They leave 2 on base, and that leaves us with a final score today of Binghamton 3 and Reading 2. Ponies shake hands after their 4th straight win. We'll step aside for a moment, and we'll have your post-game show coming up after this on the Fightin' Phillies Radio Network.
Welcome back to our post-game show. And our post-game show, as always, is presented to you by White Star Travel, the official group sponsor of the Reading Fightin' Phillies. Visit whitestartours.com for more information. Well, the frustrations continue, especially with the bats for the Fightin' Phils, as they drop their 4 straight, and they drop this series as well, falling to the Rumble Ponies for the 4th game in the final game in this series by a final score of 3-2. Big difference in this game was the bat of Jeff McNeil. Again, the New York Met, who is here with the Rumble Ponies on an injury rehab, and he started this game. The first pitch he saw from Moises Chasse, 21-year-old right-hander starting for the Fightin' Phils, and Jeff McNeil, first pitch he saw, he deposited it into the pooled pavilion down the right field line for a home run, and that quickly the Rumble Ponies were on top 1 pitch into the game, and for the 5th time in this 6-game series, the Binghamton Rumble Ponies scored in the top half of the 1st inning. The Ponies added on to it in the 3rd inning, and guess who was in the middle of it? Jeff McNeil. First pitch he saw from Moises Chasse in his 2nd at-bat was leading off the 3rd inning, and he hit this one to the wall in right field for a double. Francisco Alvarez hit a chopper back to the mound that he was retired at first base on the throw from Chasse to Keaton Anthony, but it allowed McNeil to move up to 3rd base, and the next batter, Nick Morabito, hit a fly ball to center field that allowed McNeil to score. It was the 4th RBI of the season for Morabito, and it made it a 2-0 game in favor of the Rumble Ponies. Phils finally got something going on the offensive side in the 4th inning. Hendry Mendez, batting in the 3-hole tonight for the first time, led it off with a single. After Keaton Anthony struck out, Leandro Pineda grounded a single on the right through the right side for a base hit. The right fielder Alex Ramirez bobbled it. That allowed Mendez to go to 3rd. It allowed Pineda to move up to 2nd base. Luis Verdugo was at the plate with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. The Rumble Ponies chose to play the infield back and allow the run to score, and Verdugo grounded one to shortstop William Lugo for a base hit that allowed Mendez to score the game's first run for the Fightin' Phils. It gave Verdugo his 6th RBI of the season and made it a 2-1 game. And then Elio Prados followed with a single up the middle that allowed Pineda to score, and the Phils had tied it up. Prado with his 5th RBI of the season and his 7th RBI of the his 5th RBI of the series and 7th of the season, and the Fightin' Phils had tied the game up at 2-2. However, the Rumble Ponies now facing Aberson Castillo, who came on for Aberson Castellano came on for Moises Chasse to start the 4th. Got the Rumble Ponies to go 1-2-3 in the 4th, but in the 5th, after striking out William Lugo to start the inning, walked the 9-hole hitter Alex Ramirez, and that brought up Jeff McNeil again, and the McNeil followed this one with a single. 3 pitches, 3 hits for Jeff McNeil. He finished the game 4 for 4 with a couple of runs scored. Francisco Alvarez followed with a base hit as well. That loaded the bases as Cade Fergus was on the single to right field from Alvarez quickly. They held Ramirez at 3rd base, so the bases were loaded and 1 out with Nick Morabito at the plate, and Castellano walked him to bring Ramirez in for the 3rd run. Ryan Clifford then flew out, and he struck out Nick LaRusso to get out of the inning and made it a 3-2 game. However, the Fightin' Phils were not able to generate much offense at all against the Rumble Pony bullpen for the remainder of the game up and until the 9th inning, with even including an Aiden Miller double in the 7th, but it was a 2-out double, and Hendry Mendez then followed it up with a strikeout. The Phils got some action in the 9th with Robert Moore pinch hitting to lead off the 9th inning. He walked. Cade Fergus squared around a bunt and popped it up in foul territory, and so he was retired on the foul out. Moore obviously stays at first base. Trent Farquhar then at the top of the order singles to left field for a base hit to put 2 men on. So the Phils had the tying run at 2nd, the go-ahead run on base at first base for Aiden Miller, who had 2 hits on the night. And Miller hit a line drive up the middle, but Yanni Hernandez, the second baseman, was right there to take the line drive away, take the base hit away, and the Phils were down to their final out. And Hendry Mendez ultimately with a slow ground ball to first base, and that retired the side and ended the ball game. And the Phils left the men on base 9 and 10 in that column today for the Fightin' Phils. So the offensive struggles continue for Reading and they, after a 3-game winning streak, got this series started, ultimately lose 4 in a row, and they will head to Portland on Tuesday with a sub-500 record. They were 1 game away from a 500 record after winning on Tuesday and Wednesday night, but now a different story as they will take a 4-game losing streak on the road. Time of the game today, 2 hours and 39 minutes. For Binghamton, 3 runs on 8 hits, 1 error, and 8 men left on base. For the Phils, 2 runs on 9 hits, no errors, and 10 men left on base. Alex Correa gets the win for the Rumble Ponies. He is 1-0. Castellano takes the loss, his first. He's now 2-1. And Carlos Guzman picks up his first save of the season. Again, played in 2 hours and 39 minutes and played in front of a solid 4,084 here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Baseball Town. So the Fightin' Phils again will go on the road now to play the Portland Sea Dogs on Tuesday, beginning a 6-game road trip. All of the first 4 games of that trip in Portland, Maine will be played at 6 o'clock. Saturday will be at 1, and then Sunday 1 as well. And then the Fightin' Phils will head back home on Tuesday, April the 29th will be our next game here in Baseball Town, as the Harrisburg Senators will come to town for a 6-game series, again beginning on Tuesday, April the 29th, and continuing through Sunday, May the 4th. And all of the first 5 games of the series, Tuesday through Saturday, are all 6:45 starts. And then on Sunday, it will be back to the standard 5:15 start time for the next Sunday home game here in Baseball Town. Again, that will be on Sunday, May the 4th. So that's what lies ahead for the Fightin' Phils moving forward. And just to give you an idea of what lies ahead in terms of the promotion of the next couple of games, when the Phils come back home, Thursday, May 1st features a beer tasting festival. Friday, May the 2nd, and Saturday, May 3rd, both feature fireworks. And on Sunday, May the 4th, it's an Our Phils mascot and characters meet and greet, autograph, and photo session on the next homestand. Again, from Tuesday, April the 29th through Sunday, May the 4th against Harrisburg. So that's what's up next. We hope to see you here at the ballpark. Unfortunately, this homestand that started out with such great promise with back-to-back wins over Binghamton comes and ends with a 4-game losing streak as the Rumble Ponies take the win, and they are now 7-6 on the season. Reading with the loss falls to 5-9 on the year. So that will do it for our coverage and our coverage for the week, and we thank you for listening to Reading Fightin' Phils Baseball on the Reading Fightin' Phils Radio Network and our flagship 830WEU.com. And our coverage will continue for all of our home games on 830WEU.com for the remainder of the 2025 season. We thank them for being great partners on the year. That will do it for our coverage. Again, thanks to my broadcast partner, Jake Starr. My name is Bob McCool. Thanks for listening. Unfortunately, the Fightin' Phils lose this afternoon on the getaway game. The Rumble Ponies take the win and the series. They take the series 4 games to 2. They take this afternoon's game with a 3-2 win. That'll do it for our coverage. Enjoy your Easter Sunday, everyone. And as always, thanks for listening to Reading Fightin' Phils Baseball. As we sign off tonight, thanks for listening and have yourselves a great day.